And now they're coming onto the field at the Cotton Bowl. Sooners won the toss. They deferred, so we would expect Texas handling the ball first. Welcome to the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute. I'm Brett Musburger. It is the top-ranked team, the unbeaten Oklahoma Sooners, against their arch rival, the Texas Longhorns. Earlier, we had a confrontation at the middle of the field. No punches thrown. There's a lot of woofing and barking. But Texas tired of leading. They cannot handle Oklahoma. Remember, a lot of these youngsters played high school football down here in Texas. They're old rivals. There is the starting quarterback for Texas, number 5, Chance Mock. Vince Young, according to Mac Brown, will be on the field for the 3rd series. He'll bring in his unit with a completely new offensive line. Mac says he will leave the skill players out behind Vince. Vince, of course, suffered a badly sprained ankle a week ago against Kansas State. It seemed to be fine. It did not even appear to us down on the field when we talked to him that there's even an extra wrap on that ankle. Absolutely remarkable. Before the day is gone, Gary, we will show everybody how that sprain looked last week against K-State.
You know, Chance Mock, Brent, must be very careful starting this game. He somewhat lost his job, at least to the Texas fans last week, even though he's starting. Vince Young is the new hot flavor at Texas. He must try not to do too much too early in the game.
Selvin Young returning to the Longhorn lineup. Mac doesn't know how long he can go, but he will try it as a kickoff return man. So Trey DeCarlo with the ball on the tee for the Sooners, and the Red River Shootout is about to begin. Here he comes, Selvin from the 3 to the 23. Chance Mock coming out here for the first series of the game. And, of course, his key running back is Cedric Benson from Midland, Texas, number 32. You know the story. Gary highlighted it. They just have not been able to move the ball on the ground, and you would expect this offensive line to see if they can open some holes. So the familiar 3 wideouts are on the field. Sloan Thomas, Roy Williams, and B.J. Johnson, number 1, 4, and 82. All out there for a first down. Play fake. Mock rolls left. Looks Johnson underneath. Got him for a first down.
14. No, holding it. He was out of bounds. It looked like he had him easily, Gary.
Yeah, I thought he might get that left foot down, but you can see Texas comes out. They try to get Chance Mock out of the pocket, throws it. Ball is caught. Does his left foot come down? I thought it did. Clearly did.
That's
left foot's down.
That's a catch.
Yep.
And I can't believe it. The head linesman was looking right at him, and he missed that. And it is 2nd down and 10. It looked all in the world like a catch up here, and indeed it was. And now the very vocal defensive coaches for Oklahoma spotting something, and they throw underneath to Williams. And so right away the strategy for Mac Brown and Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, is clear. Make the playmakers, get them into the game. Remember, last week against Kansas State, it took a while to get Roy Williams a touch. They have thrown to 82, B.J. Johnson, who was shut out last week. They've come back now to Roy Williams, and now they face the 3rd down because, remember, the bad call put him back in 2nd and 10. So now to the short side goes Williams off to the left. Sloan Thomas is over there, and it's Johnson to the right side of the formation. Bo Scaife is the tight end. They show blitz. Picked up, there's a penalty flag down. I think Oklahoma may have jumped. From the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brent Musburger. The ancient Red River Shootout. Oklahoma, unbeaten and ranked #1 in all the polls, taking on their arch rivals, the Texas Longhorns. You missed the opening kickoff. Selvin Young brought it back. He has returned to the Horns lineup. This is the first series. A bad call, unfortunately, went against the Horns, or they would have had a first down. Now a penalty against Texas brings it back for 3rd and 10. Chance Mock, the starter. Vince Young, the phenom, the freshman out of the Houston area. He'll be in the 3rd series. The ankle seems fine. We have had a confrontation, but it was all woofing and no punches. Under fire, Mock throws, intercepted by Strait. Got it at the 35-yard line. Here comes Derek Strait, looking for a blocker, and Strait has given Oklahoma a 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line, and Derek Strait all over Roy Williams. Many of you know the story. Strait is from Austin, Texas.
Chance Mock was fooled. Watch Roy Williams come out and ram Derek Strait. Too aggressive to start with. Mock feels that Roy Williams is going to go out there and stop. Misreads double coverage on the play. Derek Strait had help with the safety behind. Again, Chance Mock trying to do too much maybe early in this game.
Jason White, the Oklahoma quarterback, coming off a 5-touchdown performance, brings the team out. Ronaldo works, is the tailback. He gets the first carry. Ronaldo for the end zone, and Oklahoma scores just like that. The favored Sooners strike right after the turnover on the Ronaldo works touchdown run around the right side of the Longhorn defense.
Very simple play. Everybody just blocks down. Get the fullback Runnels on the end man of the line of scrimmage, and Works just walks into the end zone.
Trey DiCarlo on to kick the point. Matt McCoy is the holder, number 34. Jacob Rice is the snapper for OU. Left-footed kicker. Ball will be put down at the 10. Good, and it's 7-0. You take a look at the ease with which Works scored. That offensive line, which has done such a fabulous job, keeps it clean, and Works walks in. 7-0 timeout. Less than a minute in, and Oklahoma leads after the Texas turnover. And Selvin Young, who returned to the lineup, is back there with Philip Giger. He's standing on the 5-yard line. Into the end zone. Young is coming from 3 yards in. 15, looks for a corner. 20 to the 25-yard line. And let's beat the Texas quarterback.
Hello, my name is Chance Mock, and being from the state of Texas, the Red River Shootout is the greatest rivalry in sports.
And just moments ago, his first interception in 107 career throws. Now we would expect to see Mack Brown and the Horns try to establish Cedric Benson behind the offensive line. They threw 3 consecutive times. A bad call went against them, and then the interception. The familiar 3 wideouts for the Horns. Motion, Benson into the middle of that stout OU defense. The principal financial group starting lineup. This is the offensive line, and no question, this is the toughest challenge that they have faced against this Oklahoma defense. Now, last year, Benson, 22, 54 yards, had no touchdowns. They need to pick it up. That's the running game. The passing game. A year ago, 7 catches for 126 yards for the 3 Musketeers and no touchdowns. They haven't scored a touchdown in 3 years against this Oklahoma defense. Here's number 4, Roy Williams, their All-American. 2nd down and 9. He's on the short side of the field, off to the right. Matched against Strait again. They're flopping Strait. Throw Williams, deflected, incomplete, and Strait is all over Roy Williams. He has put a blanket on him. And this Oklahoma defense featuring one All-American after another. Are they the nation's best? Miami's defensive front looked awfully good today. Back at that linebacking spot, the Texas nemesis, Teddy Lehman, who has intercepted a pass in each of the last 2 years. Now, they have been operating out of the nickel D by sliding Dante Nicholson up to that will linebacker spot, and Brodney Poole, who had 2 interceptions, has been playing in the backfield. The big hitter is number 7, Everett. Nicholson now steps out to the slot man. They throw to Thomas. Thomas is trapped, nothing doing, and the Oklahoma defense forces a punt with Antonio Perkins making the stop. We check in now with John Saunders on Clemson, Virginia.
Well, Brent, the entire day was not lost to the Bowden family, because Tommy has his quarterback, Charlie Whitehurst, in overtime, tosses to Kevin Youngblood the 4 yards. That was after Virginia had a field goal in overtime, and a 30-27 win.
Yeah, big win for Clemson. Virginia was a road favorite in that game. Here it is, 4th down now. Young Richmond McGee back to punt. Hangs it up high, and Perkins, the return whiz, fields it at the 26-yard line, forced back to the middle. He'll try to stretch, and he does. Now he's got a seam in the middle. Fumble. Diving for the ball, the burnt orange jerseys of Texas. Texas celebrating, and they've got it.
I think it was David Thomas, Brent, that got the tackle on Antonio Perkins. Looked like he had a seam, reverses his field, and when he cuts back, number 16 puts the helmet right on the football right there. And Brett Robbins, I believe, got the recovery. Well, that's the first good thing that's happened to Texas, and Vince Young is going to come in the football game.
It's the 3rd series, and here's number 10 from Houston's Madison High School, and a brand new quarterback. He'll operate with Cedric Benson. Jason Glenn, there's the pitch on the option look, and Benson is cut off and is thrown for a loss. As number 15, Wayne Chambers, the middle linebacker, quickly comes over to make the stop. Vince Young, the numbers out of high school are mind-boggling for this freshman. And so far this year, he's thrown 1 touchdown. The only game he didn't play in was against Arkansas, a game that Texas lost back in Austin. And last week, he ran for 80 yards. He's very mobile. They'll drop him back in that shotgun now on 2nd down and long. They go to 4 wide receivers and hand it off on the inside handoff to Benson, and he could not even get back to the original line of scrimmage as Derek Strait, who has that interception, comes off the corner on the stop. We check in down below with Jack.
Well, Brent, we saw that terrifying, what we thought was going to be a terrifying injury to Vince Young in the K-State game where he turned his ankle over. Gary Danielson, when you went to Austin, Vince was telling you about the fact that once you turn your ankle over once, it rehabs very quickly. Where did he turn his ankle over? Several times playing basketball in high school.
Well, he's not playing basketball against this defense today.
3rd down, there was movement, and the tackle jumped back, and we'll let the officials sort it out. Now, Jack mentioned this injury, so let's take you back to last week in Austin. And Vince Young scrambling out of his own end zone. Now watch as he goes down, and there collapses on the right ankle. We didn't think there was any chance that he'd be able to return to the game. In fact, we thought, well, it could be broken when you look at that, but they taped it up on the sideline. He came back onto the field to play shortly after that and led Texas to a come-from-behind win.
Yeah, Dan Cody engaged the offsides penalty and went against Oklahoma. Mike Stoops right now is in the head of the Texas offense. Every defensive play he's called has been right so far in this game, including double-teaming Roy Williams.
3rd down and 7 from the pocket. Young's got the middle. Got it. 1st down. Hit the big fella. Turns the corner, and Williams, still battling, is stopped at the 12-yard line. So Roy Williams burns the defense that time for 30 yards now. And the Horns are on the move.
Against the zone, you must attack the middle of the field, and that's exactly what Texas does. Vince Young, the zone defense, there it is. The ball's going to go right between those linebackers. Zip, that's what you must do to a zone defense. You must tack 15 yards downfield and over the linebackers and under the safeties. That's perfect throw, perfect call.
Will Matthews, the fullback, set in front of Benson, both behind Young. And again, Young pulling back out, throws to the fullback, and Matthews could not get his shoulders turned. He's out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Russell Dennison, a linebacker in this situation. They go out of the nickel and go to the extra linebacker, fully expecting Texas to either keep it on the ground or throw short screen passes.
Talked a little bit about Chance Mock not trying to force the ball early. He did it twice. Chance threw into double coverage twice trying to get the ball to Roy Williams, and he paid with it for an interception. Against the zone now, Vince Young, he might see more zone because he can scramble a little better than Chance.
Johnson and Williams are the wideouts. Second down. Benson, the running back. Young stands, pump fakes, waits now, takes off. Looking for a block, ran into his own man, dives for the end zone, reaches, but he is down, and I believe it was just short of that first down. Remember, Texas can pick up a first down at the 1-yard line.
Coverage was good, and so was the protection. Texas has to take a lot of good thoughts from this play by Vince Young. Not only did he hit the big pass, protection was decent on that second down throw, and then Vince Young tucked it under and made it 3rd and short.
Now Mac Brown wants power football. Edwards and Tweedy are in as additional tight ends, blocking. They go in motion. It's 3rd down and short. Benson, end zone, touchdown, Texas. Both teams convert turnovers early for touchdowns. An interception by Chance Mock leads to the Oklahoma score, and then Oklahoma's first fumble loss of the season sets up a short touchdown drive by Vince Young, and I think we have all seen the Longhorn quarterback of the future. I think the future now is definitely now for number 10. As Bob Stoops and the coaches at Oklahoma know, he gives the Horns the best chance for an upset here today. Dusty Mangum now for the tie. Got it. So one more look at this power running. Does this team look soft to you today? Here they are. Double tight end. Lead blocked by the H-back. We're deadlocked at 7. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Michelob, Amber Bach, Rich and Smooth, and SBC. Ordinary people, extraordinary jobs. Well, the Nissan Drive summary, and it did not take Vince Young and Texas long to tie this game up. 6 plays, 44 yards after the fumble. Now Oklahoma responds with a little more speed back there. Not only is Antonio Perkins deep, but Mark Bradley, number 1. His daddy, a one-time Oklahoma quarterback. So those are your 2 return men now. Perkins and Bradley. The hunter with the ball on the tee is Richmond McGee. This would be Bradley from the 4. Bradley stood up right about the 20-yard line in a fired-up Texas team. So let's meet the Oklahoma senior quarterback.
Hi, I'm Jason White. This is my first career start in the OU Texas game.
Coming off a fabulous week against Iowa State. I said senior. Now he still could apply for a medical exception and gain another year with the Sooners next season. He's out of Tuttle, Oklahoma, just one of the great comeback stories this year of college football. He is now being mentioned prominently in all of those Heisman Trophy candidate lists that spring up around the country and on the internet sites. The shotgun allows him to drop back. He's not as mobile as he used to be. That inside handoff, it's Wilkes who scored the touchdown, and the Texas defense jumped in. Let's check in now on the principal financial group lineup. Only 4 sacks allowed by this offensive line. The unsung heroes up Norman Way. And as far as the running backs are concerned, they are indeed chasing that ghost of Quentin Griffin, who ran for 248 yards in a Red River shootout a year ago.
And they'll see defensive backs in their face all day. A lot of man-to-man coverage from this Texas defense.
Second down and 8. Play fake. Jason fires to a wide open receiver as he slips J.D. Runnels out of that backfield. Now, this Texas defensive lineup, and they are on a mission. I know Oklahoma gets all the ink and pub. The freshman Tim Crowder over there, along with Kalen Thornton, hope to put on a lot of heat. And who's the best number 11? We rave about Teddy Lehman, but let us not forget D.J. Johnson, also number 11. And Dakari Pearson, he got into it with Brandon Everidge before the game started, and Mack Brown jumped all over him and said, let your play do your talking. Just shut up and get back over here. So Pearson had to be pulled away from Brandon Everidge. That was before the skirmish even broke out, and now White and the Sooners are going to burn a timeout here. We'll take a break from Dallas. According to my Benny notes for the network for October 11, 2003, Bob Stoops is an amazing 15-2 against top 25 teams. And folks, one of the reasons why they convert third down plays. And here they are after that timeout. Third down and 4 for Jason White and the offense.
In order for Texas to put pressure on Jason White, the two inside tackles, Roderick White and Marcus Tubbs, inside must collapse the pocket. Those two guys are huge.
Need to reach the 31-yard line for the first down. Fires for it. Got it on the completion. Clayton at the 40. And folks, Jason White was asked by Jack LaRue, how do you attack this Texas defense?
Hard-nosed football. Just, physical, being physical up front. Receivers being physical, backs running hard. It's just, this game is just about, being hard-nosed football players.
That was a hard-nosed 13 yards for White to Clayton. First down, coming back with the inside handoff to Works. Reaches the 45-yard line. And Timmy Crowder, the freshman from Tyler, Texas. He's going to be a dandy, number 80, that young defensive end in there. And what a test for him here today.
Well, I know hard-nosed football works if you're Oklahoma. There's no doubt about that. But when you have an accurate quarterback like Jason White is right now, this run he's on, completing 67% of his passes, it's tough to draw up a defense that'll stop this offense. They got receivers all over the field, and if you throw it that accurately, hard to draw one up. They'll stop it.
He has 4 receivers spread out. Brings one of them in motion. And the offensive line, there's a twist. They're coming in on Jason, setting the screen. A beautiful call to Works. But Texas was ready. They jumped the play, and Basher, one of the finest defensive backs in the land, red screen, came up, and with a hard-nosed tackle for the Horns, it's a loss of 5 yards.
Oklahoma does not like to screen the ball because Jason White has bad knees. They don't want to let those defensive linemen coming in and hit him on his knees. This one gets it away easily, and I think Works has to make Basher miss on that play. One-on-one, you've got the ball, you've got 2 blockers ahead of you, you've got to make one defensive back miss you.
Third and 11. Rankins off to the right side. White looks middle, comes back off of it, and in trouble. Sacked at the 27-yard line by Philip Eager, the hard-nosed safety, who was the defensive player of the Big 12 Conference a week ago when he came back and forced that L. Roberson fumble late against Kansas State that turned the game around.
No matter what, you must get pressure. The guy's too accurate. Eager comes right off the corner on a stunt, goes inside Thornton, runs right through Works' block. Run right through number 47's block. It was picked up and should have been picked up, and that led to the sack.
Blake Ferguson is back.
Oklahoma had trouble early with blocks, but they seem to have solved the problem. Let's see.
Gets it off now to Basher. Basher fields it at the 29. Looks outside, and there, nothing doing. Down at the 32-yard line. Next Saturday now, more great regional action. Gary and I will be in Columbus, Ohio. Iowa against Ohio State. The Hawkeyes on the move. The Buckeyes with a big one tonight against Wisconsin. Then Texas Tech against Oklahoma State down here. And how about that Texas Tech performance? B.J. Simmons on a record-breaking pace. Threw for 8 touchdowns against Texas A&M. Mind-boggling when you read that stat as Vince Young comes back onto the field here for the Horns.
Everyone knew Vince Young would play. I still like the idea of starting Chance Mock, but he made a huge mistake early. Cost his team.
Brett Robin is the back. Young rolling away from trouble. Great speed. Picked off. Intercepted by number 23, Brodney Poole. 3 interceptions in 2 weeks for the Houston sophomore.
When you talk to the Texas players, they say Oklahoma bites on all of the short routes. You cannot throw the ball late. Vincent Young throws the ball late. You can see the defender. He's waiting for it. He baits the throw, and Poole comes cutting right under. If you're going to throw the ball to the outside against Oklahoma, you must do it on timing, not late like this. You'll get every one of them either knocked down or picked off.
Now Jason White will work with the short field. Ball's at the 35-yard line.
Too many men in the huddle.
They've got a timeout. There's not in time. I see the penalty flag. I see the penalty flag. They did not get it called in time now. Stoops saw it, and you had that great camera shot of him. He was trying to get the timeout. He saw there was a problem, but Bible, the referee, saw it sooner rather than later, and he threw the flag back there, and now it'll be 1st and 15.
It's one of those substitution packages that's in modern-day football. 4 receivers, 5 receivers, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. This time, lack of communication cost them 5 yards.
3 wide receivers, 2 backs alongside White, who was savage the last time he tried to throw. Got one-on-one, goes deep. Interference is called. Travis Wilson was working against Michael Huff, and the flag came on the contact.
I talked to Chuck Long about this very thing. I said, Chuck, even though you're a high completion team, don't you in college football have to throw the ball deep? He said, yes, this time it goes. You can see the push by Travis Wilson on the play, and he gets offensive pass interference, shoves him with his left arm, then his right arm, and you can see Huff is shoved out of the way, and back-to-back penalties by Oklahoma.
That's going to bring that ball all the way back to the 45-yard line. Clear-cut shove on the interference call. It'll make it 1st and 30. Now we haven't heard from Brandon Jones. He's the wide out, far out to the right on this formation. They'll come back with a conservative call with Works. And no more than a couple of yards. And again, the freshman, Tim Crowder, being tested. And tomorrow at 8, 7 Central on a new 10-8 for this rookie and his training officer. Every day is training day. 10-8. Officers on duty, part of Sunday's Best. ABC tomorrow at 8, 7 Central. The Texas State Fair certainly adds to the flavor of this attraction as we pull back from the blimp. Good view of Big Tex down there. And you look across the Texas State Fairgrounds toward the old Cotton Bowl. Tom Landry and the original Dallas Cowboys used to hold forth here. And of course, then that long-time tradition on New Year's Day, the Cotton Bowl itself. 2nd down now, and White steps away, fires complete to the 35-yard line. That is back, folks, to the original line of scrimmage. Jawan Rankins, the sophomore wideout, with the catch. And so this puts him back in about a 3rd and 10 after the 18-yard gain.
Texas went with a 3-man rush that time. They're going to show every different look to this Oklahoma passing game. But if you don't put someone in the face of that thrower when he's hot, he's going to pick you apart. You must put pressure on that quarterback to slow him down. Oklahoma has 5 different receivers they can throw the ball to. This time they got 4 of them in the game.
And Carl Reese continues to substitute rush linemen, trying to get fresh rushers. Williams in the game, but White gets it off anyway. Got the 1st down. There's Jones inside the 20-yard line. At about the 18 or 19, it's a gain of 17, and it's a 1st and 10 in the red zone for the Sooners.
This time Texas comes with the rush, but watch the nice pocket that develops. Jason White is allowed to step into his throw. That means when you rush 5, they've got less zone people. Here comes the guy coming across the middle right here. Step into it. Easy throw to the outside of the formation in Brandon Jones with a big first down play. Give that one to the offensive line.
Huff will now go over on Jones on this first down. Jason White, the inside handoff to Works, picks his way, cuts back, smashes, first down, first and goal inside the 5-yard line. Ronaldo Works with a tough run.
Oklahoma, so many weapons from this shotgun attack. Moving the ball through the air, moving the ball on the delayed draw, such a play that was important to them last year when Quentin Griffin went over 200 yards rushing against this defense. Same play, delayed draw.
So the senior running back from Tulsa continues to be the workhorse. Here he comes again. Ronaldo Works, hurdles down to the 5-yard line. Interesting, in college football, the only man who can hurdle is the man with the football. The NFL, no rule against it. And last Monday night, didn't we see a difference in rules when Simeon Rice was flagged for illegally leaping after that missed field goal by Indianapolis. Hope you stayed awake. Hope you didn't go to sleep. Hope you didn't drift off on that one. Some of us did. I have to admit it. Okay. I promise.
Truth and
advertising. 1,000 stacks of Michaels and Madden not to do it again. Second down and goal now. And here comes White. Play fake. Got a man wide open. Here comes a touchdown. They walk in. J.D. Runnels, the sophomore fullback.
Jason White has his pick on that one. They changed the strength of the formation by putting a receiver in motion, and he had the tight end and the fullback wide open for an easy pitch and catch.
Now remember, after offensive pass interference, Oklahoma faced a 1st and 30. They were backed up on their own 45-yard line, and they quickly finished it off behind Jason White. Now to Carlo again. McCoy the holder. So Oklahoma takes advantage of 2 Texas turnovers. One, an interception by Mock, the second by Young, and it's 14-7 timeout. Area coverage is provided by 1-800-MEDICARE. Wondering who to call when you have questions about Medicare? The answer is right in front of you. A little bit of an overcast day, a little warm. There's some humidity down on the field. Somewhat of a light breeze, but we have seen the defensive strategy on the Texas side is use a lot of bodies here so far. So with the Sooners up 7, kicking off again, Giger, yard deep, and appeared to step on the goal line. It was close, but he took a knee, and it'll come out on the 20. The victory recipe, Garrett.
Well, let's cook up what's going to determine how this game is won. Quarterback protection, I think, is #1, and so far Oklahoma's doing a great job at it. Can either team run the ball to take the defense and make them honest? Both receiving units catch the ball and run after the catch, and of course special teams. You know, Brent, in any recipe, if you put turnovers in it, it's like arsenic. It's going to spoil it. Turnovers is always going, as we saw in that first Florida State-Miami game, thrown up anything.
You know, I want to go back to this kickoff because from up here I thought his foot touched the line and he had to come out, but there it is on that goal line, and then he's down, so I guess he ruled that he was still in there when he took the knee, and the Young keeps it. A beautiful play fake, and Vince Young breaks free, still going, midfield, still on his feet. They can't stop him. He's at the 40, amazing, down the sideline, hurdles and down to the 19-yard line. Let's hear it for the freshman from Houston, folks. It doesn't get any better than that 60-yard run that you just watched right there. Oh, my.
We held up the sign, 73 yards rushing in 3 years, 0-3. But you know what? Texas did not have a running quarterback. With Major Applewhite, Chris Sims, this is a different look for this Oklahoma defense. They now have to stop somebody besides Cedric Benson, and that just served notice.
Amazing. Number 11, Teddy Lehman, could not gain ground on him. The cutback by Benson, and he's to the 15. What a lift Young gave Benson and the rest of the runners on the horns. What a difference maker. this young man is under center for Mac Brown. One of the most highly recruited prospects at quarterback to come out of this state in a long, long time. So good, in fact, that Rhett Bomar did not come to Texas after being a long-time Horn fan. He is signed and will be a freshman at Norman, Oklahoma next year. Second down, the hand now to Benson, slashes, daylight, needs one more block, and he's down at the 7-yard line as Brandon Everidge saves the day. The youngster from Granger, Texas, the safety, saves the touchdown. And of course, a huge, huge day in college football. Things starting to shake down. And on the Valvoline halftime show, John Terry and Craig will have highlights and analysis of Separation Saturday. I guess that's what the fellows are calling it on the biggest game. One thing is for sure, Miami separated itself from Florida State down there in Tallahassee today, beating them rather easily, I thought, and somewhat surprisingly handling them without the injured Frank Gore. First down and goal. And from the shotgun quarterback draw, what a play with Young. Dives, fumble, and Oklahoma says, we've got it. They do.
Right into Derek Strait's hands. Caught it in midair. A design play. It was not a pass. Quarterback draw, running. Ball's in his left hand. Launches forward. Ball pops out and Strait gets his second turnover. You can see it. Vince Young, such a gifted runner, but that ball is popped loose, goes in the air. I think it was Rodney Poole, number 23, that got his helmet on it, and it popped into Derek Strait's hand.
Now Oklahoma coming out from its own 3-yard line. 3 big Texas turnovers so far. Survey run with Jones, his first carry of the game. Kewan Jones, the sophomore from Jinx, Oklahoma. So he spells Ronaldo works. And Aiken brings it out at the 8-yard line. Last 2 minutes here of the opening quarter. Sooners 14, Longhorns 7. All the touchdowns coming after turnovers, all 3. The big story of this game, total yards, 123 for Texas against this fabulous Oklahoma defense, and 74 for the Sooners against the Horns. Now the Sooners trying to go the long way. Jones is swacked at the 9-yard line. And Teddy Lehman said that there should be an early message delivered to this Texas offense.
Know that we're going to be coming after them all game. You know, we're going to be bringing it, we're going to be hitting hard, and we're going to be flying to the football.
And that, of course, is what has led us to 3 Texas turnovers. The Sooners flying to the football, even though they've given up some yards today. Here comes 3rd down now, and that defense will be back on the field. They need to reach the 14-yard line. White sprinting, cut off, fires, complete. A beautiful completion for a first down at the 15-yard line. Mark Clayton and give White a lot of credit on this throw as the Horns had jumped it.
Half roll to the outside, and Aaron Harris, the linebacker for Texas, was right in his face, and he threw this ball half blind. The outside, Clayton used his body to fend off the defender, and they get a perfect first down on the play.
White is a perfect 7 of 7 throwing the ball for 58 yards.
Really throws a beautiful ball.
Seems to be in complete command of this offense, the way he directs it. Stands in the pocket, fires another perfect strike. 40, 45, 50. Clayton still going, and he is down at the 46-yard line. Give White 39 more passing yards, and Mark Clayton, the junior, and another of those OU players out of the state of Texas. He's from Arlington.
Watch the middle linebacker right here. He's reading the quarterback's eyes. He almost gets his hands on this one. Derek Johnson, much like Derek Brooks in the NFL, he's going to play robber. He almost gets to that ball that time. Another perfect throw. Hot quarterback here for Oklahoma.
The first quarter comes to an end. The opportunistic Sooners take advantage of 3 turnovers. They scored touchdowns after the first 2. Works walking in for the first score. 14-7 Oklahoma at the end of the first.
Welcome back to the Texas-Oklahoma football game. And over to you, Brent.
Well, thanks, Tex. That's got to be Jack Arute hiding in there. Gary, I think we can see why the Oklahoma coaches really like having Jason White at quarterback.
Well, yeah, you remember he broke into this game 2 years ago as a running quarterback, much like Vince Young. And when I was talking to Bob Stoops about the attack of this game, he says, who's tried to throw the ball on Texas yet? No one. We think we can throw the ball, and so far they are.
Yeah, exactly. And Jason White has really been on the money here so far. Now he comes up. We start the second quarter. Oklahoma leading by 7 points. That inside handoff to Jones, and the Horns jump it. It'll be about 2nd and 9. That's Kalen Thornton, number 43, disrupted that.
Even though Kevin Wilson, the assistant offensive coordinator, was brought to this program to upgrade the Oklahoma running game, I think with this version of this team for Oklahoma, without Quentin Griffin, their great running back from a year ago, I think they're just better throwing the ball. Why not play to your strength? You got a hot quarterback and great wide receivers.
Well, this is certainly a passing down. It's 2nd down and 9. But they elect to run it, and why not? Texas expected the same thing we did, and Jones pops it to the 31. Fine play call by Chuck Long upstairs for 14 yards.
I think you're exactly right. Marcus Tubbs and number 90, Rod Wright, right there. That ball is going right at him. They're thinking pass rush. They get double teamed, rubbed off on the linebacker Boyd, and number 20 gets right in there. Jones right into the secondary. Good call. Cross them up. It keeps that defense thinking we can call anything at any time. That's the best way to move the ball.
Vince Carter, number 50. Fine center. Joseph and Shashan, the guards alongside. Sims and Brown, the tackles. And when we asked the coaches who was grading out the highest on the offensive line, number 55, Jamal Brown, will come over to that right tackle spot. You see him getting down there, looking at Thornton, studying the gap right directly in front of him. 1st down and 10. White from the gun. Pump fake coming back to the left now. Diving incomplete. And they go long for Will Peoples. Cedric Griffin with coverage, number 8. So a warm Saturday afternoon in Dallas, Texas. One of those great rivalries that it's always a pleasure to be a part of. Oklahoma and Texas. Big 12 rivals now, old Southwest Conference rivals. Great names have come out of this game, not to mention great contests. Now it is 2nd down and 10 for the Sooners. And you can see over on the Longhorn bench the defensive signals being flashed. And Jones to daylight. Griffin wraps him up. At the 24-yard line, we check in with Jack Arute.
Well, Brent, as you guys were saying, when Jason White came to OU, he was supposed to be a Vincent Young type quarterback, but 2 injuries have changed him. Is the glass half empty or half full for Jason White? He says he's smarter now. He says, I know my strengths and my weaknesses. He says, when I first got here, I relied on my athleticism. Now I use my head. I know I can't win the game. It's all about the team.
They put Clayton in the slot, and they're chasing Clayton with Vasher. So the matchup now is Vasher against Clayton, and White back middle high, got a wide open man, incomplete. If he had caught it in stride, he would have walked into the end zone. That's James Moses, the junior tight end. Another beautifully diagrammed play here.
Greatly conceived. Giger gets beat at the line of scrimmage right there. He's wide open. Juggles, 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 juggles. And DJ Johnson runs right by it and almost had a chance to pick it off.
DJ would not have caught him if he had caught that pass in stride. There was no one between the receiver and the end zone. And now a 42-yard field goal attempt by Trey DiCarlo. Rice to snap it. McCoy will put it down for the left-footed kicker. On its way, long enough. He's got it. DiCarlo boosts the Sooners into a 10-point lead. Timeout. The Cotton Bowl.
Ready, Boomer? 1, 2, 3!
ABC Sports, Saturdays, the home of college football.
So there's an Oklahoma coaching legend, Barry Switzer, from 1973 to 88. He's been involved in many of the Red River shootouts out there in the stands. And, of course, he coached the Dallas Cowboys to a Super Bowl championship when he was the head coach there. And now one of America's great football fans, shows up for a lot of games. Just one of the many great names who have come out of this rivalry. Great coaches. Ball on the tee now to DiCarlo. Here's Selvin Young again. 20, 25. Selvin dives out to the 30. I see a penalty flag. Penalty flag thrown by the back judge. And I believe he picked it up and just wanted to make sure everybody saw it. That was the same flag. And goes against the return team. Well, our Aflac trivia question. And let's see if you folks are good. Who holds the Oklahoma school record for career interceptions? Now, Ricky Dixon down on the field was lobbying for the answer, but folks, that's not it. Who holds the Oklahoma school record for career interceptions? A very fascinating answer to that one. I know that some of you Sooner fans know it, and some of you Longhorn fans should know it. First down and 10 now for Vince Young and the Horns. Everidge coming up to take on the run. Young rolls it over to the left-hand side, sheds a tackler, still going. Here it comes again. Finally out of bounds at the 32-yard line for a first and 10. And now it is time for the Pacific Life game summary. The Texas turnovers. Straight. The fellow from Austin. Then Poole with a pick. And then Straight with a pop-up fumble. He's had 2 of the 3 turnovers.
Oklahoma defense for the last 3 years. They've been so good, obviously. 3 straight years of over 20 interceptions each year. They've already got 10 this season with the 2 today.
Cedric Benson at the tailback spot. Everidge again pressing the line of scrimmage late in Young's count. They'll try to move late on a freshman quarterback. He's going to go long. Roy Williams doesn't see it. He threw the ball long to Roy, who had not turned around. Rodney Poole coming there. It was a double coverage, and Roy had not made ball contact. They're out to tend to him. He's shaken up on the play.
Not really double. It was late double coverage. Just a free safety in the center of the field. The quarterback must hold him. Just a fly route. Texas and Roy Williams has been lobbying to throw the ball deep. You see Poole just adjust to the ball. The ball was thrown too far in the middle of the field. Goes by straight and then can't find the ball. Looks up the free safety and never really finds the ball at all.
He's been bothered somewhat by asthma. Also, he's over there on the sideline, and looks like an arm there. It could be an arm or a shoulder. They have taken the pads off. Here's the toss to Benson. Stretch it out. Cuts back and picks his way to the 34-yard line. Teddy Lehman making the stop.
I mean, remember, Texas fans and Oklahoma fans can remember that the last year in this game, Roy Williams had the bad hamstring, was really just a shadow of himself.
Second down below with Jack.
Well, Brett, you saw on those turnovers, one of them committed by Vince Young. He was so distraught when he came off the sidelines. The first man to meet him, Chance Mock. Chance head slapped him on the helmet and said, look, get your head up. If you're going to be the leader of the Texas Longhorns, you've got to go out there and forget about that. Go out there and produce. There's no quarterback controversy here.
Will Allen, and there's a penalty flag. Now it is Texas breaking the huddle, and it was a late appearance by an offensive lineman. Will Allen, the guard, came off Brown's bench late when he trotted out there, so there was confusion with the offensive line as they were trying to get their act together. And now it is going to be 3rd and long with Young. As you watch the Oklahoma defense, and you can see it on your monitor, against a freshman, they are moving very late with their defensive coverage.
And this side here,
now there's Allen.
a late addition right there. And actually, I thought that was the 11th guy to enter the huddle. I was a little surprised by that call.
Third down. Lehman's over in a gap. Now they fill it with a safety and then back out. Now Young in trouble, and he eats it at the 18-yard line. A penalty flag comes late. Nicholson, number 8. The JC transfer and a fierce hitter. He was one of the top 20 ranked JC players coming into this season, and he has helped strengthen an already tough defense.
Oklahoma has been using their nickel package all game. Dante Nicholson, number 8, has been playing the entire game. 5 defensive backs, and then on 3rd and long, Oklahoma goes with 6 defensive backs on the field to give even more different coverages to Vince Young as they try to confuse the young player who can hurt him with his legs, but they don't want him to hurt him with the passing game.
Richard McGee into punt again. Cullen Loeffler is the long snapper. Back deep. Perkins going to let this one bounce. Remember, he turned one over, which led to the Texas touchdown in this game, and it rolls dead at the 31-yard line. Timeout. Oklahoma leads Texas. Loudly, boldly, manly. This is the highlight. Highlight here at the Texas State Fairgrounds. The youngsters enjoying a Saturday out there, and there's a fellow that always travels from Austin for the Red River Shootout, and there he is, Bevo, and he says, "Come on, man, 3 in a row. Come on, what's going on with you?"
Seen this before.
Holy Toledo. First down and 10. There's the first 4 possessions for Oklahoma, and they have punted once, and they've scored 3 of the 4 times they've handled the ball. Jason White flares to Jones. Jones in a foot race. And he makes it to the 37-yard line as Giger hits him first to Mike Williams. Now, Mike Williams is on as a defensive end. He is out there with Larry Dibbles and Austin Senline, the backup D lineman. Marcus Tubbs, the only starter, staying on the field. I will tell you, folks, who has been quiet, and that is the best Texas linebacker, number 11, Derek Johnson. Now, Oklahoma did not expect him to blitz at all. They said he doesn't show that, but he's very active in the middle of the field. He can run you down and in the passing game, but he has been neutralized here today. And there he was stepping up to plug the run that time, helping out on it with Jones. All right, let's go back to the Aflac question. Who holds the Oklahoma school record for the most career interceptions? Well, folks, let's take a look at it. And you got to go back to the 40s. He wore number 11. The legendary Darrell Royal. He was a quarterback and a DB, and then, folks, he came and coached this Texas team for 20 years. Very good friend of Mac Brown's. In fact, Darrell frequently comes down to practice to see the team and visit with Mac. White goes overboard, got Clayton over the shoulder, and Clayton stays in bounds, looking for one block. Coming to the right side now. Got away from Giger and makes it to the 15-yard line. Mark Clayton, 47 yards from Jason White, and White has thrown for 151 yards here today. Clayton has 105 of them.
And when he hits them in stride, and that's why Oklahoma is getting yards after catch. Mark Clayton does a nice job on this burst. When he comes down, he fakes inside, even though he's open. Watch him, but inside, the ball is right over the outside shoulder, turns up, and now the yards after catch. When you get these Oklahoma receivers in space, they burn you.
Jones, the running back, on the draw, and there is number 11. Johnson up with the hit. Remember Bert Emanuel? He was a quarterback, I believe, at Rice, and came to the NFL, played wide receiver. That's his cousin as we check in with Jack.
Well, Brett, Mark Clayton was a quarterback in high school, mired deep in the depth chart at Sam Houston High in Arlington. But then in his junior season, he was playing around, and someone challenged him, and he ran out on a pattern. It was a post route. He caught the ball, sprinted 50 yards for a TD in practice. That's when he became a wideout.
Brian Roberson, number 39, checks into the Texas D. Second down from the 15-yard line. Fake the inside handoff. Fires complete. Rankin there's a penalty flag, a late flag. Cedric Griffin was wrestling Jawan Rankins, and what we have seen, the Oklahoma receivers are just taking the ball away from the defensive backs. They are having a field day out here.
Might even get Texas interference on this play. Cedric Griffin came over the back of Rankins, and he made a wonderful catch. The ball is being thrown in the right spot on all of these plays. Yep. And the Oklahoma receivers have so much confidence in the throwing game right now, and there's so much competition with 5 of them that want the ball. They're going up and getting it and wrestling it away. And Rankins almost took this ball and just took it. Rankins is to the outside, it's man on man. Going to go to the corner on the inside. Watch him fight for this play. Outside shoulder, catches it, really doesn't go down until he gets about 4 more yards over Cedric Griffin. Putting on a clinic here.
Ball is at the 8-yard line with 9 minutes to go in the first half. And Oklahoma, the top-ranked team in the nation, showing you why. They lead Texas by 10, 17-7. They get a first and goal. They're coming again. Jones, the slot man to the right. They run away from it, and here comes the other Jones. This is Kewan. Maybe second down a goal, and tomorrow on ABC, she was lost for 2 years, and now Agent Bristow will risk all to expose the secrets of her disappearance. New season just getting started. All new Alias on ABC tomorrow. White is checking over to the sideline to see what Chuck Long wants called. Coach Stoops, of course, he has the final authority. He has an override. He's listening to the communication between the box and the assistants down on the sideline. Second down and goal. Runnels is off to the right. Remember, he slipped in and caught a touchdown pass earlier. Here's White. Again, the offensive line gives him time. Fires. Double covered. Jones incomplete and out of the end zone. Now we go to third down.
I think they got a holding penalty on Oklahoma right here on this one. Right in the middle of that pocket that time. They're talking to Kalen Thornton right now, and Max says move him back. Don't blame him, Max. Oklahoma tried to run a rub play to the outside, a little pick, but Texas played 3-on-2 zone. Didn't have it.
On the offense, 10 yards from the previous spot.
I think it's right in this area right here that the play happens. Holding Bonnet grabs him, got him on the jersey right at the end of the play as Jason White runs up, and that's why they called holding on Marcus Tubbs, who could have had a possibility of getting into the quarterback's face.
Carl Reese wants to change up his defense, and he's got a late addition now. He's trying to get Aaron Ross, and Aaron Ross calls a timeout. They had gone to the nickel package. They sent Ross onto the field to call timeout, and they've got it. You folks enjoying the midway. Aerial coverage provided by 1-800-MEDICARE. Wondering who to call when you have questions about Medicare? The answer is right in front of you. Second down after the penalty. The ball is brought back to the 18-yard line. Clayton, the hot hand. White waits to clear. Comes back underneath Johnson with good coverage, but too tight. And the penalty flag comes flying as he was draped all over Lance Donnelly, the senior tight end.
Man-to-man coverage, obviously, for Texas at the time. Oklahoma was trying to get the ball to the outside and deep to Ronaldo Works, number 47, but he was covered, and Jason White came to his number 3 guy and dropped it off.
Holding on the offense. Pass interference on the defense. Penalties canceled. Repeat second down.
A break for the Horns. 2 flags on that play. Nullify the penalty, and the ball will stay back at the 18-yard line. And now full complement of wide receivers comes onto the field for the Sooners. They substitute 4. And so Reese is quickly trying to dial in the defense upstairs as he adjusts to the substitution package. And Jason White is going to have Wilson off to his left. A full complement of wideouts. They're going to load with 4 now. On second down and run the quarterback draw. Never expected that. And White to the 6-yard line. No one expected Jason White, who has undergone 2 knee surgeries in back-to-back years, to take off on the quarterback draw. Just nobody there.
Absolutely. You think about what Texas is thinking about which receiver, which pick play, what type of screen, and all of a sudden the quarterback, who they say they want to protect those knees, it was both of those knees untouched in 2 straight years that he went down with, and they get a huge play on second down.
10-yard gain makes it 3rd and goal from the 7. Now what? Fires incomplete. As there was pressure from the Texas defensive front that time.
You should see Derek Johnson reading Jason White's eyes on this play. He's playing a robber in the middle of the field. Watch him just take off. If he sees White look to the left, he just goes to the left. Watch it. Bang, bang, he's going. Reminds me of Derek Brooks as he tries to get in front of the play, of one of those linebackers that play the passing game and the running game at the same time. The ball was knocked down at the end, the line of scrimmage, by Timmy Crowder.
Trey DiCarlo on the field for a 24-yard attempt. He's 1 of 1. No breeze in his face. And he nails it. 2 for 2 for Trey DiCarlo. And the Sooners lead it 20-7. Part of the enjoyment on the Oklahoma side of the field. They lead the Red River Shootout, having won 3 in a row. Sloan Thomas, #1, going back deep with Selvin Young, who has returned to the lineup today, at least as a kickoff return man. We haven't seen him carry the ball yet from scrimmage. High kickoff. Young over the 11-yard line. Special teams using the sideline, forcing out of bounds there at the 30. Well, here's the singular wireless poll question. Who is your comeback player of the year? Log on to ESPN.com, search singular, and make your vote. Or singular users can text message to 222. Now, what a list that is. We're going to update you a little bit later. Of course, watching this game, it's hard for us to get by Jason White. Now, Vince Young, his coach down in Houston, was Ray Seals, and he said when you finally see him take over the Texas team as Roy Williams trots back onto the field. So that was not a serious injury. But anyway, the coach said you're going to see a different team because Young won't let them lose. So let's see what the young man's got as he keeps it, in Oklahoma simply jumps him. They did not give, and Teddy Lehman is there. You can see straight. And let's check in on the Purdue Boilermakers. Let's send you on, and here it's 20-7. Oklahoma with the lead. Young rolls the pocket, deflected, picked off, and Oklahoma's going to walk in with the interception. Touchdown, Jonathan Jackson, the junior from Houston. Vince Young, folks, is still a freshman.
Dusty Dvorak, number 94, is the guy that swats it down. Watch Dvorak. He's the one that's in Vince Young's face. Pops up, turnover, and Oklahoma Jackson takes it in. Number 94 beats the block. Too early of a cut on that offensive line by Tillman Holloway, and number 94 swats it right back into Young's face.
It has been a turnover feast for this Sooner defense. Up 27-7. Unbeaten, ranked #1. They've forced 4 Texas turnovers. Jackson dashes in for the touchdown. Sooner fans have enjoyed what they've been watching here so far. And up in front of the television sets up to Norman Way. And why not? They're dominating. 24 points off 4 turnovers. They lead it 27-7. DiCarlo kicking short. Going to be fielded at about the 17-yard line, and field position at the 35-yard line. On the return, that's Will Matthews. Now, the problems that a freshman encounters. You can see Vince Young stepping off to the left, and there's the deflection. Jackson has it on the ricochet for the touchdown. First down and 10. straight back. Fires high. Williams went up in the air for the ball and pulled it in at the 48-yard line as Roy Williams gains another 17 yards on his 200th career catch for the Longhorns.
That's where this defense needs to be attacked. Right about from the hashes to the middle of the field. Until Texas can show Oklahoma they're willing to attack the middle of the field, they're going to have problems with this defense.
Obviously, Selvin Young is ready to go. He's in the backfield. The quarterback draw, and nothing doing with Vince Young. And now Oklahoma starting to tee off. That's Lynn Magruder. And Lynn Magruder, a transfer. He's out of Palestine High School before he moved out to the Las Vegas area. And a young man by the name of Adrian Peterson, the #1 recruit in these parts, is down on the sidelines watching this game. Both Oklahoma and Texas are in on recruiting Adrian Peterson. They have a little bit of a link with Magruder. On the handoff now is Cedric Benson back on the field. Well, tomorrow, right after the Women's World Cup Championship, speaking of Las Vegas, we'll take you out there for the Invitational. That's one of the favorite stops on the tour for Phil Mickelson. Tomorrow at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, right here on ABC.
For golf, for all the extracurriculars for Phil. He does a lot when he's in Vegas, I think.
Third down.
The package against Roy Williams has been a little bit of everything. Double coverage, jamming him, and soft zone. Here's the roll-up to his side.
Young is back, being forced to the right, throws on the move, and the wide-open target is Sloan Thomas. He was camped out on that side, and it is a 1st and 10, 20 yards.
That time, Oklahoma did not keep the quarterback in the pocket. It's the old smash route. One guy goes deep, the other guy stays outside. He's a secondary receiver, just a check-off for the quarterback. Nothing open deep. You dump it to the sideline, 1st down. You must show Oklahoma you can throw the football against them, or they'll gang up on your running game. Safety's extremely deep, 15 yards.
Facing the clock, gets it off, and Benson is swallowed for a loss by Jackson, who scored the touchdown on that ricochet. He's all over number 32, but there is a penalty flag.
After the play had ended, there were personal fouls on both teams.
Dead ball foul.
2nd down.
So from the Texas State Fairgrounds in Dallas, Texas, Jack Arute and Gary Danielson, I'm Brent Musburger. Filled to capacity. Folks were out on the street begging, seeking, offering those new $20 bills and plenty of them for tickets here. And of course, both Oklahoma and Texas would like a little bit bigger facility here to accommodate all their fans. This is one of the toughest tickets to come by down in these parts. 2nd down and 12 for Vince Young. Straight back. Now he'll take off. He's got daylight. Here he comes. 10, 5 for the end zone. Touchdown, Vince Young. When he takes off, except for his height, he reminds you of Michael Vick. There have been very few quarterbacks come along who can run in open field like this young man from Madison High School in Houston. And remember what his coach said. He will not let you lose. And he almost willed the touchdown on that drive after turning it over 3 times in this game. Now Dusty Mangum. No good. And a big miss.
Well, he reminds me of Randall Cunningham when I saw him come out of college. The way he gets there, throws the ball with the looping throw, and when he gets into the secondary, his speed and his long stride are misjudged. Watch him beat Teddy Lehman on this play. One of the fastest, best open field tacklers in college football, but these players are misjudging the speed of this guy. This was not a design play. This was a pass all the way, and Teddy Lehman draws a bead on this quarterback. You'd think Teddy Lehman can handle a quarterback, but watch this. By 6 yards, he runs around one of the best open field tacklers in the game.
So the future is now, Jackaroo, for Vince Young with the Horns.
Well, Brent, I asked Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator for Texas, what was the biggest surprise when they put Vince Young in a week ago? And he said, without question, it was his confidence. He said he stays calm, he's poised, he goes through his reads, and more or less just the way his high school coach said, he is not going to let you lose.
Well, what's interesting with that missed extra point now, we're sitting on a 14-point deficit here, 27-13.
Well, the other interesting one thing that presses you too is, yes, he's calm. Also, he's good. It's good to be calm if you're good. It's not so good to be calm if you're no good. This guy has got talent oozing out of every pore of his body. You know, the good news for Texas, they scored. Bad news is Oklahoma gets the ball back. They have not been stopped but once in this game.
They have 207 yards of offense, Oklahoma. Jason White is 10 of 13 for 150 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions here today. Jones has rushed for 29 and works for 27. They've scored on 4 of their 5 possessions. So this is their 6th possession coming up here. And Bradley, the speedster, fumble! But Oklahoma regains control. And I believe Pearson was one of the defenders down there. And Aaron Harris had a great future. He hit him. So there are the Big 12 scores. And you can see that Texas A&M on the comeback after losing to Tech put 73 points on the board. And the thing to watch out about Coach Fran, in the second half of a season, his teams get better. And how about Oklahoma State, a big one over Kansas State, 38-34. And a very improved Kansas team under their coach Mangino, who was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma before he took that job in Lawrence. Now the crowd very much into it after the Young run for a touchdown. Works back in as the running back. And he is down at the 34. Johnson and Boyd, 2 of the backers there for the Horns.
One of the things Chuck Long, the passing coordinator of Oklahoma, should have told Jason White was the last replay we saw of Derek Johnson. He should be telling Jason White that you can move Derek Johnson with your eyes. Move him and control him. Make him run to the outside and throw in that vacated area behind him. When you know you got a linebacker that reads you that quickly, you must control him with your eyes.
Clayton, the wide receiver, lines up in a slot formation to White's right. Running from that formation, and Works will go nowhere because of Derek Johnson, number 11, the very talented linebacker from Waco. Coming up on the Valvoline halftime show, John, Terry, and Craig will have highlights and analysis of Separation Saturday's biggest game, which certainly includes Miami going into Tallahassee and beating up on Florida State. Third down with Young on that sideline. That, folks, is the young quarterback who is losing his starting job to him. They are the best of friends. Chance Mock seated alongside, helping him out over there. Now White fires low, complete, first down midfield. Here he comes, Clayton. And penalty flags come flying. Those hands were very high up around the face mask area as he was trying to bolt free. It's a 30-yard gain. Michael Huff trying to bring him down, and let's let the officials sort this one out.
Grabbing the face mask on the defense, 15 from the end of the run, first down.
Yes, we always talk about yards after catch, and we usually talk about the receiver, but you don't get yards after catch unless the ball is thrown where the receiver can catch and run with it. Jason White, as you can see, the obvious got a back of the head and face mask from Michael Huck. When you throw these receivers and get it on the run, they're deadly. It's kind of like Joe Montana-like, Brent. Remember when he used to throw to those guys and catch it on the run? It's hard to stop that type of pass offense.
He's gotten Mark Clayton in stride all game long, hasn't he, for a 27-yard average, as a timeout is going to be called by Oklahoma.
Dallas for the Red River shootout between OU, that's located in Norman, Oklahoma, and Austin, Texas's University of Texas. Well, the Cotton Bowl somewhat equidistant between the two campuses. Now, the key is that Interstate 35, Brent, is the roadway from Norman to Dallas, and there's 17 miles that are under construction. Well, the state of Oklahoma said what you're going to have to do is end your construction or be fined $4,000 per lane per hour if it's not open for our fans to get here to Dallas. They had clean and green all the way from Norman.
I'd like to move that highway department to a couple other states where I do business. First down and 10 from the 20. Fake the inside handoff, and White buys time, goes in zone, got a receiver. Touchdown! He goes to Will Peoples, who was wide open. 20 yards on the scoring strike for White, his second touchdown pass.
We saw Oklahoma win the national championship with Josh Heupel, and we never saw anybody carve up an offense like Jason White is carving up a proud Texas defense today. He's making every read and throwing accurately at every play. He's putting on a show here today.
And a lot of Texans are part of it. People's from Humboldt, Texas. When you look at that roster of players from Oklahoma, one Texan after another. This not for just bragging rights down here, it's recruiting rights. And now the Sooners have scored on 5 of 6 possessions. As we watch White, watch first the fake.
All right, here's the one that comes out, fake to the play here, but watch this receiver hold the corner. A well-designed play. You've got to run the corner, but you have to hold the corner on the play. Right here, the receiver comes across, holds this guy, and now you have the opportunity to throw it. You just can't run a guy against zone on a flag route. You have to design to hold the underneath coverage, give Chuck Long half of it, give the receiver half of it, and give the throw half of it. Can you do that?
Absolutely. And Ronaldo Works, who was the running back, up with the block back there. That's also part of the passing game that sometimes gets overlooked.
Yeah, good point.
Control those blitzers and defensive linemen back there and keep it all clean. And the constant references to Chuck Long remind us that among the many assistants on that Oklahoma staff are several who someday will be head coaches themselves. Long is upstairs. Mike Stoops across the way is being mentioned as a possibility for the Arizona job. In fact, the Arizona people are around talking about Mike Stoops over there on that sideline, one of the defensive coordinators for his brother Bob Stoops. And Thomas is going to come out 10-yard line, down the sideline, and he's out of bounds at the 20-yard line. As we check in on Peoples with the Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, Will Peoples is from Texas, like so many players that are both on Texas and Oklahoma. But his uncle, Gary Peoples, is a member of Texas's football team security detail. In fact, Uncle Gary is assigned today directly to Mack Brown. Now, when the media found out about that, they hounded Mack and said, my gosh, what are you going to do? Will Peoples' uncle is your security guard. He says, yeah, but Uncle Gary doesn't play football. Memo to Mack, his nephew does.
Exactly. First down and 10. Vince Young, who certainly has taken over as the Texas quarterback, deflected again, and this one incomplete. Now, we have referred to all these players from the two states. Let's take a look at the recruiting breakdown. Of the 110 players on Texas, only one non-Texan starter. That's an offensive lineman, Holloway. 94 of the 110 from the state. But look at Oklahoma. They have 46 of their 103 players from here, and 10 of them are starters, including Everidge, Harris, and Strait, who grew up in Austin. Second down and 10 now for Young. Penalty flag on the play. Young just tossed out of bounds, but there was a flag thrown by the linesman. Everidge with a few words for Young.
Offsides on the defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Last week, Kansas State put 6 sacks against this Texas pass offense. Texas offensive tackles, one play ago, Jonathan Jackson put pressure on the quarterback. The offensive tackles must get better in this game. You can see it. This time it was Blaylock, comes around the corner and hits the arm. Almost another turnover in the game.
Second down and 5. Lehman shows blitz. He's picked up. Young can't get an open man. Steps hard to the right. Now fires. Bumped after the catch. Caught out of bounds. So he had control of the ball, and Perkins delivered the hit on Thomas, and he caught the ball, but by that time he was out of bounds.
Vince Young must vacate the pocket because the Texas offensive line is not standing up to the task here. You can see the pressure, throws it on the run, popped loose by Perkins. BJ steps out, comes back, and bobbles it. Clearly bobbles it.
3rd and 5. Lehman again trying to hand fight in, can't get there. They swing Robbins, and Robbins is down at the 25, and Texas will be forced to punt. Nicholson, the defender, on the play.
See Oklahoma take a timeout here. Texas played it conservatively, did not want to force a turnover in late in the half with a young quarterback.
So we'll take a break. Final 50 seconds of the first half. Back in the shadow of downtown Dallas. And you can see from the blimp the famed Cotton Bowl. And now McGee back to punt again. Back deep is Antonio Perkins, one of the most dangerous return men, the record setter. 3 for touchdowns against UCLA. Perkins just waves it off as they try to punt away from him, and they go out of bounds with a short punt. Now they've got 50 seconds to work with and a chance to get a field goal, and a penalty flag flies on the play.
And it's going to be on Texas. It's going to be 15 more yards from the spot. Silly play by Texas.
An 18-yard punt, and that is the risk. Whenever you attempt to punt it away.
After the play had ended, personal foul on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty.
Now we go and talk about the road to the Nokia Sugar Bowl in the national championship game. Oklahoma came in ranked #1. The BCS rankings will be out later. We can see this is a list only of the unbeatens. And listing to the left, of course, is the ranking in the coaches poll. Florida State, they've dropped way back. Arkansas lost to Auburn. Minnesota, in a great game, lost last night. So 3 of the unbeatens have lost here today. But Oklahoma and Miami continuing to defend 1 and 2. Now White. First down, drops it off. Wide open as Ronaldo works. Johnson busting out of bounds. Clock stops 35 seconds. Going back to the Perkins situation, when you attempt to punt away from a man and you want an angle of punt, frequently, especially with a young punter, you shank it. And he did exactly that. They punted from the 25. It was only 18 yards, then the penalty. And so OU will start the drive at the 28-yard line. That's a net, folks, of only 3 yards. So now it is 1st and 10. Terrific performance by the offensive line. And Clayton just couldn't quite get to that. And again, the experience of White did not want to even hint at an interception. Kept it outside against the defensive back.
Great protection up front. That offensive line for Oklahoma is really feeling confident against this pass rush now. I think this Texas defense is a little bit gassed. They've been out there for a lot of plays, a lot of pass plays. It's much more difficult to rush the passer than it is to protect the passer if you're a big man. You can see the Texas defense is heaving heavy and no pass rush.
Rankins and Clayton are off to the left. Jones comes over to the right. Pump to the right. And White down at the 18-yard line in the arms of Roderick Wright. And
yeah, they don't have any timeouts. Oklahoma must line up on the run.
They have got to take it. I'm surprised that they didn't spike the ball and stop the clock on 3rd down and then kick the field goal. And now they're late. I think that is a mistake by the coaching staff right there. But nevertheless, why not? Hey, I surrender. Stoops knows a lot more than I do. Why not? Let the time run out. And Stoops, who's been a master of the special teams since he arrived at Oklahoma, makes it 37-13 on the kick by Trey DiCarlo. With the final seconds running down, Stoops says, yeah, then we send you to jail.
Well, Coach, turnovers were the bugaboo for you guys in this first half.
Dak, it's been unbelievable. They got a great team. We're not stopping them with our defense, and we're giving them things on offense that we gave them a 35.
So what do you do to change, Coach? What do you do in the second half?
Be more aggressive on defense and change up and try to get some pressure on Jason. He's a great player. Try to cover some guys and be more consistent on offense. It's 1 turnover to 3. We've got to force some turnovers. Try to get back in this thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, John.
Actually,
let's go to Times Square Stadium and John, Terry, and Craig.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Obviously, the marquee game of the day, Miami against Florida State, not just because of the rivalry, but because...
A 24-point lead by the #1 ranked team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners. And Gary, I go back to something that Bob Stoops told us on the telephone. At this stage, in 2000, when he won the national championship, this is a better football team. A little bit scary about how good they can get.
I don't think there's any doubt. You opened the show showing their 4 great players they have on defense, but we just saw this offensive explosion on offense. Jason White right now, he's almost unstoppable with this package of receivers, and their running game is enhanced. This is a better team, I believe, than the 0-1 team that won it.
Well, that was an amazing team. They beat Florida State down in the Orange Bowl. And we see the Pacific Life Summary game stats, and of course your eye is attracted immediately by the turnovers. 4-1 the turnover margin in this game, and the Sooners have scored 24 points off of those 4 turnovers to take a 37-13 lead here. Now the Sooners will get the ball, and they have scored on 6 of their 7 possessions under Coach Bob Stoops here so far.
You know, Brent, they did it last week, and you go, well, okay, that's Iowa State, though. Now they're doing it again this week. We had 35 first downs against Iowa State, and look what they're doing today.
Exactly. The game thoroughly dominated so far by the Sooners, and they'll get possession here again. They'll bring it on out on the 20-yard line. And when you go back to Vince Young, the phenom, still only a freshman, the most critical turnover of the first half. He was about to score a touchdown, and he fumbled into the arms of Strait. And then he tossed not 1, but 2 interceptions also in the first half. And Gary, that leads you to the out-of-whack stat.
Sure is. And this Texas team had a lot of pride coming to this game. They knew the defense for Oklahoma was going to be tough. They talked about dropping it down, not trying to force it. For the season, they came to this game with no interceptions. Today alone, in the first half, they have 3.
They'll see if they can right the ship here. And a penalty flag flying. I think you saw the middle of that offensive line jump down in there.
Snap, false start on the offense, moving in the interior line, 5 yards.
The beauty with this Oklahoma offense is the diversity of receivers they use. You cannot lock down on anybody, whether it's Clayton or Peoples or Brandon Jones or Rankins. Jason White doesn't care. He's not stingy with it, and he keeps going.
And that offensive line responsible for this, eh?
Yeah, yards after catch. That means your quarterback is accurate with the ball. That's one of the recipes to win.
I think that offensive line put this defensive Texas in the twilight zone. There's a handoff now to Jones. Jones stretches the D, turns it, and out of bounds at the 25. Philip Giger, number 22, making the stop on Jones.
When you run the ball, you don't have to lay out the middle linebacker. You just got to get in his way. Nice tracking job by the fullback this time. You see him coming around track. Just force DJ Johnson to go the wrong way, and that's a positive play for 8-9 yards.
So Texas basically has to sit in 5 defensive backs. There's a 4 wide again, using motion, using one of the tight ends as a blocker. And Jones straight ahead short of the first down on that play. And Marcus Tubbs, big number 95.
Take a look at how Jason White, Chuck Long, and this Oklahoma team carved up a defense. They didn't concentrate in any one area. They threw the ball deep. They threw the ball right, left. When you're attacking a good defense, and let's give Texas credit here, they have a good defense, you never let them know where you're going to hit them next. And it's exactly what this Oklahoma offense did.
Jason White out of Tuttle, Oklahoma, has been phenomenal.
He's my leader in the Heisman. And I get a vote.
13 of 17. Play fake. Fires, and Wilson reaches for it at the 39-yard line, and that's another Sooner first down. I'll tell you, the receivers on this team have been the better of the two groups. Remember, when the season started, a lot of folks rated the Texas receiving package as the best in the nation.
Well, Jason White got rocked on that one, Brent, but you're exactly right. Travis Wilson that time was covered, but he stopped and got himself open, and Jason White was on the same exact page as his receiver. But Jason's sucking right now, or sucking wind right now, because he got hit right in the lower body as he let that ball go. You'll see a run play from Oklahoma. Here's the last play. Watch, just as he lets it go, watch him get rocked. Boom. Ooh.
Tubbs, Marcus Tubbs rolled in on him. And the flag prior to the
He's a little punchy. He's a little punch drunk right now. Paul Thompson's looking out, and the backup quarterback for Oklahoma with the helmet in hand saying, am I ready to go out there? And Jason White's kind of like, can I make it through this round? Wait.
There's the backup quarterback, Paul Thompson, a sophomore, and he's a highly recruited youngster. He's very smooth. He has to come in.
Another one of the guys that Oklahoma got because Texas took Vince Young, and that's exactly how Paul Thompson came here.
First down, 15 yards for the Sooners. Runnels, the motion man, the slant. Clayton reaches up, and there's another nifty grab for Clayton. Now 6 passes, and he could be on his way to a 200-yard game here, and he is impressing some scouts who are in attendance.
It's impressing me, I'll tell you that.
There he is. He holds the record for career 100-yard games, and you can see he's an outstanding athlete in his favorite class. That's something.
Maybe he'll run for Congress like an old Oklahoma player did before, huh?
Absolutely. Second down. Jones. First down. Crosses midfield, and we check in with Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, all year, Jason White has had a deal with his offensive line. I wonder, Gary, if you had one when you played at Purdue and for the Detroit Lions. If they protect him well, he takes the lineman out on Thursday night to dinner. It started in an all-you-can-eat buffet in Norman, but he's been protected so well that last week, when they held him with 0 sacks, he took them out to a real restaurant where they ordered off the menu. I asked him what he was going to do today if he did well and they won. He says, I may actually take them to an upscale one where they could order an appetizer, too.
First down and 10. Inside handoff to Jones. Breaks it free. Another first down to the 36-yard line.
We talked about the offensive line. Right now, Texas doesn't know if they're going to get a pass block, a draw block, or an all-out run block. This time it's a run block. You see it, they seal it off. Give a lot of credit to this offensive line. A team 2 years ago that could not run a drop. Kevin Wilson, the run game coordinator, came from Northwestern, a great hire by Stoops, came in and put the last piece together on this offense. I think the best offense in college football.
Sims, Shishan, Carter, Joseph, and Brown, the offensive line. And here's Works. Out of bounds as he approaches the 30-yard line here in the third quarter, with the Sooners leading 37-13.
This is looking very reminiscent of a year ago when Quentin Griffin in the second half in the big lead just marched down the field, piling up yard after yard, ended up with over 240 yards rushing. It was all after the lead was established. Texas was on their heels, and Oklahoma never got their foot off their neck.
On 2nd down and 5, here's Works again. He crosses the 30-yard line. This will be 3rd and short. So there's Kevin Wilson on the far side. Another one of the assistant coaches on Stoops' staff, who probably someday will be offered a head coaching job. It's a very talented and deep coaching staff. Very thorough. Starts with recruiting, but once they recruit these youngsters, they do an outstanding job of molding them. 3rd down and 2. Here's Jones for the 1st down. Well, last I saw, the Gators were upsetting LSU. Let's go to just, we're a double-digit underdog going to Baton Rouge today, and they are beating up on another of the unbeatens. So here's Works. He crosses close to the 10-yard line. That's another 1st down. And the Sooners right now are beating up on this defensive front. There is no question about it.
Watch a fullback right behind number 47, their 38, J.D. Runnels. He's been getting a block on every play of this drive. Not tough, just enough. This time he takes the down lineman right there, little roll block. Gets the middle of the line that time. Larry Dibbles, he got blocks. And all drive, it has been Runnels, number 38. It has got his helmet on one defender every play.
Well, Jamal Brown, that All-American candidate at that right tackle spot, he had some things to say about Texas and the build-up to this game, the closest to bulletin board material, as Works crosses the 10-yard line. But now when you look at that quote and you put it in the context of what we're seeing, Texas kind of wears down as the game goes on. They come out thinking they can intimidate you, then they just give up. It seems like we get stronger, and they tire out a little bit. Well, the Texas players came in here woofing, and at midfield there was a little confrontation. Again, no punches. Two sides were separated. Pearson, one of the safeties, had to be brought back by Coach Mack Brown. And here you see Oklahoma starting to wear them down now, and it is 2nd down. False start on the, as the time was running.
Might have been delay a game, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was a time ran down.
5 yard. Remain 2nd down.
Well, Monday night, huh? You won't go to bed early on this one, right?
Never.
Like Indianapolis and Tampa Bay, it's the Falcons in St. Louis. 9 Eastern here on ABC. And you know, there's a big difference, folks, in that controversial play of last Monday night and the college rule. And a couple of years ago, we had one of Stoops' players, Woolfolk, jump up and block a field goal. And it is legal. Simeon Rice's play would have been legal in the college game. We're going to talk a little bit about that rule here as White slash. And here comes Rankins. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Jawan Rankins in for the touchdown. And then rule discussion will have to wait.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't. What's tougher to stop, the hammer or the finesse? And right now, any play that Oklahoma runs, this is the wide receiver screen. Number 70, Calvin Chasen comes out. Watch Big 70 come in your picture. Get the block, and Rankins reads it, yards after catch. These Oklahoma receivers, when they get the ball in space, they're like running backs. They're just get it and go.
7 of 8 possessions Oklahoma has scored here today against Texas. Ricardo tacks on the extra point, and it is 44-13. The beautiful thrower and the catcher who can move. Touchdown OU. The man's getting easy. Well, Jason White won't take the pose. You can bet on that. But the fans, the Oklahoma fans, will do it for him. And there's no question now that after this performance, that White's going to appear on all of those lists. And with some, he's going to be the front runner. No question about that. It's fielded now by Sloan Thomas, the wide out. Thomas to the 22-yard line. Well, Jack Aroots found his way out to the midway here at the Texas State Fairground. Jack, where are you?
It's called the Texas Star. It's the largest amusement ride and Ferris wheel in all of the Western Hemisphere. From it, you can see all the Texas State Fair, the skyline of Dallas, all the way to Fort Worth. And oh yeah, Brent, you can see the Cotton Bowl real well as well.
Jack, the way things are going, you might want to stay there for the rest of the afternoon and just get yourself some cotton candy and a corny dog and enjoy life on the midway here. It's first down and 10, and we'll see what Texas is coming up with here. Nothing much doing on that running play, and if there was a difference in this game with Teddy Lehman smashing it down, it is the fact that Texas simply has not been able to generate a running game except from the quarterback, Vince Young, and he has been their leading rusher here today with 98 of their 115 yards. Only 17 yards for the running backs on this Texas team. The quarterback trying to do it all by his lonesome. Second down and long. Fires in underneath. And got a first down, Roy Williams.
Well, you can see the talent right there in Roy Williams. This is what Texas gives up, though, with Vince Young. I mean, yes, he's running the ball and they're getting running yardage, but they're losing the passing yardage. They've thrown now for under 100 yards in this game. I don't know if you can beat this Oklahoma team being one-dimensional. In fact, I know you can't beat this team being one-dimensional. Roy Williams, he must be frustrated. 4th year in a row. Doesn't want to get it out of here not beating Oklahoma.
Benson set up behind the quarterback. Now Young on that option run. Not a good pitch on the hop. Benson saves it. There's a penalty flag.
Yeah, it's going to be a penalty
by the referee.
I'm sorry, Jonathan Jackson's going to get a penalty for roughing Vince Young, isn't he?
Personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country.
I don't think Oklahoma cares the least bit that they get a 15-yard penalty hitting the quarterback on an option game. They just want to serve notice. If you run it, you're going to get hit. Jonathan Jackson, number 49, is the guy that gets him from behind. No, it is Tommy Harris is the one who got it. I thought it was Jackson, number 49, but it was Tommy Harris that gave him a shove from behind.
So with the penalty, the ball now is advanced to midfield.
You don't call that guy's name a lot, but when you talk to the coaches, Dan McCarney from Iowa State says, he's the first name I'm going to write down on my All-American list. You can't block him.
Young underneath, Benson stumbling, got the first down to the 34-yard line. Let's meet this young man that so many of the opposing coaches rave about.
My name is Tommy Harris, and my nickname is TJ. My favorite TV show is Family Matters because Urkel, he's a crazy guy. My favorite athlete is Leroy Glover because he's a guy that gets after it and he wears 97. My favorite food is my mother's lasagna because it is the best.
Don't you say anybody's lasagna is as good as Mama's. Out of Killeen, Texas. First down and 10. Benson Ball being bobbled over there. Oklahoma jumping on it. Yes. And that is the 5th turnover. Derek Strait has been involved in 3 of them. As he recovers it, he's recovered another fumble in midair, and he's intercepted a pass. So Derek Strait from Austin, Texas, in his final game, about to become one of a handful of Oklahoma Sooners who claim and can claim forever that they will have beaten Texas 4 times. And Derek Strait come dashing in for the recovery. We'll take a break. Oklahoma's got the ball again. And I dare say there might be some burnt orange shirts going out there to enjoy that. A little bit early here today, the way things are going. It's 44-13. Oklahoma dominating, but the quarterback of the future for the Horns, Vince Young, sitting on the sideline, watching now as Jason White continues to put on a clinic here. Inside handoff. Works to the 34-yard line.
Yes, last drive, 12 plays, 9 of them were runs, and they start out with a run on 1st down.
Let's check in with Jack.
Well, Brent, you talked about Derek Strait. Believe it or not, there are 8 Sooner players that hope to join an exclusive club today. There are just 17 players thus far that have beaten Texas 4 years in a row. It's hard to believe that 8 could join them. These 8 in 103 years. What would that be? 8 and 17 would be 25, right?
Would you work on that one?
You got that Ferris wheel there, Chad?
I think he's talking to us for the Ferris wheel.
I ran out of toes and fingers, guys.
No, you ran out of money. You keep going around
Their hair was standing straight up like you're up in a NASA space capsule up there. Brent, you know what's amazing about this Oklahoma team? They run such a high-risk offense. Yet you mentioned it earlier. They did have the 1 fumble, but they came into this game 403 touches and only no fumbles. They fumbled once in this game, but they are amazing taking care of the football once they have it.
3rd down and 5. Thornton and on White, who was juggling as he went down. And White did a good job of saving possession that time as the ball was loose. And Kalen Thornton out of Dallas right here rolling in.
First time the Texas secondary covered everyone. Jason White wanted to throw the ball right, double covered his primary receiver, and that Texas pass rush did not let him yank it down and go to his 3rd receiver.
Now Vasher. We'll see if he can get a return here. Blake Ferguson. Back in punt formation. There are 10 Horns up front trying to breathe fire on this one. Remember, Oklahoma's punt blocking broke down early, but not this time. They're going to set it up now for Vasher. Fair catch at the 34-yard line. That's where Vince Young will have possession. 44-13 OU. Back in the Longhorns will be coming out. Their own 34-yard line here. Roy Williams walks it out to the right. Johnson, the slot receiver, off to the left. And number 10, Vince Young, under center. Short drop. And the pass is dropped by Bo Scaife.
So you want to be a quarterback, huh? You want to be a quarterback in big-time football? Well, this is like, try to read this. It looks like 3 safeties, but then just before the snap, watch this defensive changeup. This was the first interception of the game. Chance Mock never saw it. The safety on one side goes the other way. All of a sudden, he thinks Roy Williams is man-on-man. Easy pickoff, and everybody in the stand says, what are you doing? These 2 guys right here, Venables and Stoops, designed a defense that took Mock right out of his game to start with.
And that's a look at our Chrysler passing playbook. 2nd down and 10.
Was I supposed to
quarterback draw, and Young over to the right side, searches daylight now, 40. Close to that 1st down marker. Man, is he dangerous as a runner.
He's a great runner.
Look at Mike over there. Now, Venables was one time his roommate, and they were assistant coaches. Venables played up at K-State, and Mike out of Iowa. And there they are, the co-defensive player. Frequently you'll catch them over there disagreeing, but it's like a couple of brothers not agreeing on something. In the end, they get it done. Stoops directly responsible for the DBs, and Venables for the linebackers as the defensive call now has been signaled in, and it's 3rd down. Young looking for a 1st down. Tries to get an open receiver, and I believe he's got daylight. He takes off. He'll get it. Got it. Out of bounds, 1st down. You know, we talk about Heisman Trophy candidates and passing quarterback. Let's show you Texas Tech quarterback B.J. Simmons. He threw for 8 touchdowns a week ago and 505 yards. Folks, he has 24 touches on the year. He backed up Cliff Kingsbury. And down here in Big 12 land, they are raving about B.J. Simmons. And Oklahoma has to go to Lubbock on November 22nd. So you might want to circle that one. If there's any kind of one of those trap games late for this #1 ranked team, that would be it. Although Mike Leach, the coach, was once on the Stoops staff at Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's done very well against him in the past. However, and it has been more mobile quarterbacks that have caused OU trouble.
Oklahoma all slanting one way because you see Nicholson, number 8, right there on the blitz. It's a run blitz. You bring your safety from the field, and all of your down linemen slant the opposite way and force the ball back to that blitzing, either nickelback or strong safety, Sam, whatever you want to call him. He's coming from the outside.
2nd down and long for Vince Young. He just takes off against the blitz and hooks it out to the 48-yard line. I want to go back and say, I really didn't finish the story about the Simeon Rice act like this. Woolfolk played for Oklahoma. Watch him as he runs up. Number 17 jumps, blocks the kick. That is legal in the college game. Illegal in the NFL because they're trying to protect the players from an injury. They say that's why the rule is in there. But the officials told us before the game that in the college, if you don't use a teammate to boost yourself up and to gain help, then it is fine from a running start to attempt to block a field goal. I remember LeVar Arrington up at Penn State doing that several times. And here is 3rd down for Vince Young. Long handoff to Robin, and Robin is wrestled down by Jackson. And that's short of the 1st down. Well, some good games tonight over on ESPN. 7:45 on ESPN2. Georgia will take on Tennessee. Then later at 9 Eastern, Ohio State tries to stay unbeaten against Wisconsin. So that's a good little doubleheader tonight in college football on ESPN.
Another package here from Oklahoma. 3 down linemen with 6 defensive backs on the field.
A 4th down for Vince Young. They need to reach the 42-yard line to keep the drive alive. Throws high, incomplete. Oklahoma football. Intended for Johnson. Was thrown a little bit high. Young and the horns come off the field.
Roy Williams has been upset the whole game. Frustrated, not getting the ball enough, at least in his mind. Playing with a young quarterback. You can see the double coverage. It's really a zone. Ball he thinks should have come his way. And afterwards, look at him. Boy, that is embarrassing to do to your quarterback on the field like that. He's been doing it for 2.5 games.
Oklahoma comes out in a 3-wide formation. And then they even motion one of the backs as an H-back and use Works to stretch to the left. And he slashes 40. 35 goes for the middle of the end zone. In a foot race. Works goes for the end zone. Got it. Touchdown. Oklahoma. 54 yards for Ronaldo Works. He's now over 100 yards on the day with 2 touchdowns. The 4th straight game that the Sooners have scored 50-plus points. The first time in school history, as Bob Stoops will tell one and all, this is the best Oklahoma team he has ever had. And if it holds up that way, look out. This team is well on its way to Bourbon Street. And that Nokia Sugar Bowl championship on January 4th, when numbers 1 and 2 will play. And number 1 looks pretty strong here today, folks. They're protecting their position with 51 points against the Horns.
The running game, the passing game, this is the delayed draw game. Works takes it one way, follows the blocking, and just rips it up. You think he's a big back? Now watch him accelerate. Takes it, ball in the left hand. He's got corners chasing him. He's like 220 pounds. Gets caught from behind by Hunt. Takes it into the end zone. If you have an offense that can run the ball like this, you have a quarterback this hot, and you have a defense that is as good as anyone in the country, you can see why you can put 4 straight games of 50 points up.
Let's check in down below the Jack.
Well, Brett, remember a couple of weeks ago at the UCLA game, I got to ride on the Sooner Schooner. One of the things that happened on the way down from Mulgee, Oklahoma, where they're located, is the tongue broke on the trailer. That was late last night. So they actually had to bring all of the guys, the Roughnecks, back up from Dallas. They went to Mulgee. They went knocking on doors. They found 2 trailers to load it back up. They made it here about an hour before game time. Thankfully, neither the Horses or the Roughnecks were injured in the near accident last night.
All right, Jack, and in time to watch their team put another 50 on the board. DeCarlo. A spinner short. Out of bounds. There's a penalty. That looks like one of the weirdest looking kickoffs. I don't know what they're practicing now, folks. Well, tomorrow ABC puts on Sunday's best with a new practice. The critics call it good, provocative television. This week, the Emmy-winning cast is joined by guest stars Sharon Stone and Chris O'Donnell. An all-new practice tomorrow, 10/9 Central on ABC. Well, you know, the Red River Shootout rivalry extends far beyond the Lone Star State, and we'd like to acknowledge the 272nd Texas Air National Guard and the 205th Oklahoma Air National Guard. Both are watching the game today at the Al Udeid Air Force Base. That's over in Qatar. And a special hello to all the troops and civilians over in Baghdad. They've been watching this game live on Armed Forces Network. Best wishes to all of you. And we hope you're all enjoying a little night football over there. And we hope you get home soon safely. First down and 10. Young is back. Pocket holds. Middle high again. Incomplete. Williams the intended target. And he was defended by Brodney Poole.
I'll tell you, that time, the battle up front between Tillman Holloway and Tommy Harris got really, really mean. Tillman Holloway just jumped on Harris's back right at the snap, and they were still going at it as that pass was incomplete. Watch it right here. Watch the action between these two. Gets him on top, drives him into the ground here, okay? Jumps on top of him. Now watch Tommy Harris get up, gets knocked down again, puts his face into the grass, and Harris says,
That's some of the best action of the day and no flag. Second down and 10. I love that match. 3 falls for the title. Young to Williams, and it is alertly broken up. Poteet was in there on that play, and Derek Strait.
I don't quite get what Texas is doing here. Roy Williams throws a fit because he doesn't get the ball thrown to him on 3rd down. So you come back on 1st and 2nd down and feed his ego and throw him the ball when he's covered on both plays. That's not the way you run an offense.
And he lost 2 yards to boot. 3rd down and 12.
He was my receiver. He wouldn't get the ball the rest of the game.
For the Sooners. Safety blitz. Benson and Jackson come from the backside to get him. Benson was picking up the blitzer. Nicholson coming in, and Jackson got there from the backside. And I mean, they're carving this team up now.
Coming into this game, Oklahoma had 60 quarterback hurries, 17 sacks, and 14 of them wire from the defensive line. Dan Cody, Jonathan Jackson, Tommy Harris inside. What a front 4. Every level of this defense stars.
Deep hunting. Perkins fair catching. Picked up on a big up. There come the penalty flags. I thought that the Longhorn player on the coverage team was in too close to him on that. I didn't think they allowed him, and now they're going at it at the 45-yard line. We got hats We got yellow flags flying, and obviously there's some barking going on down there on both sides. So we've got a couple of penalties to sort out on this one, I believe. Now we got 3 flags and a hat. Now you see the field judge. Now he got a hat on.
That's a lot of marching back and forth.
He threw that. John's got to sort this baby out. Here he comes. One of the best in the Big 12.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team.
Yeah, saw that one.
After the play was over, personal fouls on both teams. The kick catch interference will be enforced. The personal fouls kept first down.
Yeah, you saw he was too close to Perkins, and now watch afterwards. A little skirmish there, and let's check in with John Saunders quickly on a Purdue update.
Well, Brent, a game that's a little closer than yours. Penn State trailing Purdue as Brandon Jones goes in from a yard out to push it to a 28-14 lead. That's where it stands with about 10 minutes to go. We will bring some of you people watching that game to this one in the Big Ten in a moment.
Penn State in danger of falling to 0-3 in the Big Ten. Who would have thought that? Mike Brown over there getting an explanation from the field judge. Jason White hands off to Jones, and Johnson comes around and gets him by an ankle and pulls him down. Aerial coverage provided by 1-800-MEDICARE. Wondering who to call and you have questions about Medicare? The answer right in front of you. 1-800-MEDICARE. So close to midfield now. And we've still got, well, we got 1 quarter and about 50 seconds to play in this game, and it's 51-13. A bit of an embarrassment, I would say, for this Texas team and program here today. Second down. Long handoff to Jones, gets squared, and this time he picks up another first down, but at least they took away that cutback that has been there all day in the secondary. Huff defends the play. We're going to see a lot of backups here, Gary, in the fourth quarter.
Texas has lost their discipline. Watch Derek Johnson right here. He just submarines, can't make the play, just kind of going in low. When you're a linebacker, you can't give yourself up one-on-one like that. Texas is very frustrated, and it shows.
White with a first down at the Horns' 41-yard line. Jones, cut back. Johnson there to cut it off from behind. We come to the end of the third, but it was another quarter dominated by the Sooners. White going airborne to Rankins. And then they tack on another one with Works. 51-13 OU.
That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. But Texas wants you anyway. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway.
White pitches it quickly to Clayton as we start the fourth quarter. Clayton's free. Goes for the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. So the Sooners start the fourth quarter like they finished each of the other three. Dominating this football game.
Simple little bubble screen, that's all it was. 1-yard pass. Get the 2 wide receivers blocking to the outside, and Clayton those yards after catch again. He looks like a running back when he gets it.
That one hurts. That sign hurts,
that
doesn't
one?
it? Ooh.
That one?
Oh, yeah.
I got a lot of marks. Texas got a lot of marks that hurt today.
Ooh.
Little bubble screen, one of the first plays you put in when you're a shotgun team. Catches it, turns and run. Oh, what a feeble effort right there. Lack of tackling by Texas, obvious.
I got a question for you.
Got a question for
We've seen John, we've seen Craig, we've seen Terry. They're throwing those teams out that they picked to go to New Orleans. Who would you pick right now to play for the national championship in New Orleans?
Who would I pick right now?
The 2 teams.
If I'm elected, I believe in world peace. I want everybody to be happy. If I get the crown.
Because he knows I'll never forget who he picks.
Let's see. I have no idea who's going to this thing.
You gotta like Oklahoma here. Come on. It was a lob pass to Danielson, and he's hanging me out to dry, folks, at the Cotton Bowl.
Elected world peace is what I'm for.
Okay. Well, why not? I don't think anybody can object to that. Bobby Stoops, he's well on his way, sitting #1 in the polls. If he won't, I will. Miami and Oklahoma are looking pretty good right now. At the conclusion of this game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Is on the kickoff. It's fielded by Sloan Thomas, and he's brought down. And we picked those Chevrolet players of the game. Gary Danielson gets to pick the MVP from Texas.
Bevo's in the running, I'll tell you that right now. That looks like the defensive line there.
He's saying, back that pickup up with that trailer and get me out of here. I've had enough. The next thing you know, they'll be over here with a barbecue looking for me. Them Sooners, I got to get out of here.
That's the Texas side, Brent.
Yeah, there it is. Now pan over here to the other side now.
Now here's the blood side. They want blood.
First down and 10. Young rolls to the right. And he's wrestled down. Jackson.
Funny how this Oklahoma team has morphed a bit over the years. I think when they won the national championship, all year it was Josh Heupel's team. They were considered an offense finesse team, but when they won the championship 13-2, everybody talked about Oklahoma's defense, and it's been their defense ever since. This year, they look as balanced as they've ever been, and I think this is their best team. I agree with Bobby Stoops.
Second and 10. Young flares it to Robin, slips a tackle to the 34-yard line, and a first down. When you go back to the Sooners' national championship year, the Sooners defeated Texas 63-14 here in Dallas, and they went on to a 13-0 season and beat Florida State down in the Orange Bowl for the title. And here right now they're up 58-13. So this well could be an omen. What Stoops also told us is we don't know what's going to happen down the road. He said that team in 2000 continued to progress, continued to get better. He said we don't know what the end game will be for this team, but this is the best talent that I've ever had at Oklahoma, and it has really fumbled, and it was almost caught in the air, I believe, by Nicholson, who could not control it and put it back down. And so the Horns retain possession on the play. That was Brett Robin who saves the day, and we check in below with Jeff.
Well, Brent, when I asked Bob Stoops the best compliment he ever received, he said it got it from this guy, Barry Switzer, who, of course, he was also one of the winningest coaches in OU history. He said when Barry Switzer was asked by a media member just how good Bob Stoops was, he says he reminds me of a young me. Bob said, Jack, that's the biggest and best compliment I've ever received.
Second down. Robin for the first down. Going to approach midfield here in Chambers, the middle linebacker, making the stop.
Brent, I know a year ago you felt that Oklahoma's team last year was one of the 3 best teams in the country, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so this is not much of a drop-off. They haven't lost a lot of guys, and they look better than last year.
Yeah, I honestly thought, Gary, that the Oklahoma team of a year ago would have been able to play toe-to-toe with Miami, and I told a lot of people that, and now you can't take a thing away from what the Buckeyes did. And Bob Stoops, of course, they stumbled a couple of games, Texas A&M and Oklahoma State, and this team cannot afford to stumble. They're sitting #1, and to ensure that they get there, they just got to keep on winning. That's the key for the Sooners. In the middle, good delivery to Williams, and surrounded and down at the 26-yard line.
See, that came within the offense that time. Pattern, play, read the defense, go to the guy who's open, not just try to force a play to a receiver because he's frustrated that he hasn't got the ball. That's the way it's supposed to work, just like that.
Gary, your feeling about Vince Young and his future as the Longhorns quarterback?
Practically unlimited. We're seeing such a raw player right now. You really have to be balanced to move the ball against Oklahoma. But you can see it. He can just throw the ball also. This is not just a guy. He's going to put on 25 pounds before he leaves college football. He's going to be a monster.
Pocket rolls to the right. He dumps it underneath, keeping it in Williams' hands, but not much of a gain on that. About a half a yard, I believe. Nicholson, the defender. So number 8, another one of the pieces that was added. And there is a penalty flag down around the 20-yard line.
After the play was over, personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty, bounce, second down.
So again, at the end of the game, now we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. And man, we got a lot of candidates on this Oklahoma team, but the quarterback is standing up tall, isn't he, Gary? 290 yards, 4 touchdowns, 17 to 21. He's done it all.
He is, but he's only thrown for 140 yards, and I don't think that's the type of offense. I think it's tough to beat Oklahoma with a freshman quarterback.
Oh, okay, back to Vince, right?
Yeah, I think. Oh, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, no,
yes.
So here is Vince, and what he does so very well. Freelance out at the 30-yard line. Now, what about his delivery, Gary, on the when he throws the ball?
It is a bit low. He is a tall player, but the ball comes even below his helmet when he throws the ball. I like to see him work on that. Get out there on a volleyball net or on the goalpost and try to stretch that release up another 3, 4, 5 inches above his head. Got a gun for an arm, but no matter if you're 6'5" or 5'10", if you throw the ball sidearm, they're going to knock balls back in your face like he had one knocked today.
Jeffrey out wide to the left, and timeout here. All Oklahoma. All right, folks, look at this. We've signed up a new cameraman here at ABC. Come on, Barry, keep the focus now. Don't lose the framing. Incomplete.
Well, the ball should be right there. Perfect. See,
they're pretty good, Coach.
Barry thought that was going to be a lateral. He ran that wishbone offense all the time.
Look, he's keeping Mike Croak, the cameraman, close. Don't leave. I don't want something might happen. Mike wants to go to the airport, get a cooler, and get out of here. All right, Barry, keep us focused down there, partner. What'd you say, Gary? He's used to shooting a wishbone.
He's used to shooting that lateral game. We want an offensive passer now, Barry. Get that secondary look for me, okay?
All right. Thanks, Coach. 4th down. The horns and timeout. They burn a timeout here. 11.5 minutes to go. We'll take a break. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help. Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones, and Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. The Texas State Fair. In the background, it's been a celebration for Oklahoma Sooner fans here today. Big Tex out there welcoming all the Sooners. Almost intercepted.
Howdy, folks. The mad moment of the week is next.
Oklahoma came with an all-out blitz and put Vince Young down on that last throw.
Now the mad moment.
Last play first. 8-man blitz this time. Teddy Lehman leaps. Brandon Everidge gets him, drives him into the ground, and almost gets an interception on the 4th down.
Oklahoma takes over with 11.5 minutes to go. backup quarterback, Paul Thompson, on for the first time. Now it's time for the best moment of the week. Number 61 for Texas, Tillman Holloway. Putting down number 97, Tommy Harris. Giving him the business. And Harris said, no way, Jose. That's the end of that.
Each of them got a knockdown.
They did. Second down. So we'll see what Paul Thompson's got here. Stretching the defense into the third down. And long as Dante Hickson comes in for his first carry of the game.
Oklahoma should try to get Paul Thompson some throws in this game. I mean, we've seen Jason White. He's been healthy so far, but his past history the last couple of years, he's blown those knees. This is their number 2 quarterback. Something happens, big game, Paul Thompson's going to have to be the guy to come out and win it. No matter what the score, they should try to get him some throws in live action.
3rd and 9. Blitz gets it off. Gonna get a first down. Hickson in a foot race. Penalty flag, ball out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. And the line judge will spot it at the 8-yard line. The sophomore running back, Dante Hickson, showing a burst.
This is the 3rd screen pass of a 1-yard pass in the second half of this game.
Coming forward and out of bounds, so it goes back to the spot of the fumble. Personal foul, face mask, and flips from that spot, half the distance, first down.
Look at this 1-yard pass, easy little screen play, ball to Hickson, cuts it back one time. Where's the Texas defense? Overrunning it, running half speed. 3rd time in this half that the proud Texas defense has allowed a 1-yard pass go for big yards against them. That's a frustrated defense. And the end of it, obviously, tacked down.
Paul Thompson behind the starting offensive line. Hickson to his left. Thompson on the keeper is brought down inside the 5-yard line. Let's check on Pittsburgh, and here's John. Wow, another one. Stumbles. Arkansas, Florida State, LSU. Here's Hickson. He's stopped in the backfield by Johnson. So it'll be 3rd down.
And the defensive work was number 11, Derek Johnson.
Man, separation Saturday. This has been shake-up Saturday. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Shakedown Saturday.
Absolutely. Man, the field of unbeaten really narrowing here.
And Ohio State's got a tough one tonight.
Yeah, that's O'Gimme in Madison.
Yep.
8 minutes, and it can't run fast enough for Mack Brown. Mack Brown's going to face a lot of... He does not want to listen to talk radio, sports talk radio in Austin. He might not even want to read the newspapers this week. I'm going to tell you. This is an embarrassing setback for Mack and the outstanding Texas program. Timeout. How's he scoring in every quarter and shutting out Texas here in the second half of the Red River shootout, which is more aptly named probably the Red River bloodbath here today. 58-13, Oklahoma threatening for more with a 3rd down and goal inside the 10-yard line. The backup quarterback, Thompson. Thompson not going to get it. It'll be 4th down from the 10. And time permitting, we'll have the Thrifty post-game report. We'll have scores and highlights from across the country. And it's been a tough weekend for the unbeatens in college football. Sure, John will have all the details on what's gone down, but
Man, last night, Minnesota falling. Play comes in from the sideline for the Sooners here on 4th down, and Stoops is not going to rub their nose in it. He's not going to kick a field goal. Interesting to note that he'll go ahead and let his players play, and if they come away with a touchdown, fine, but he won't tackle on a field goal here. Paul Thompson now.
He's really hit the bubble screen before.
Inside handoff, and Hickson is stopped, and it's Texas football with 7:17 to go. Reed Boyd. Our Pack Life game summary, and it features Mark Clayton, the junior from Arlington, Texas.
8 catches on the day for 190 yards. Jason White hit him on stride, and then after he caught the ball, he broke some good tackles, some bad tackles, but he had a nose for those yards after catch, and that was thrilling to watch when you got that passing game going and you get him the ball correctly, watching those receivers chew up those yards.
And it looks like Chance Mock, number 5, will re-enter the game here. He started the game, was replaced on the 3rd series of the game by Vince Young, and has not played since. So again, we've talked about how tough it has been for teams trying to get to that Nokia Sugar Bowl in the national title game. Florida State lost to Miami. LSU beaten at home by Florida. Arkansas losing at home. Auburn suddenly turned its season around, of course, last night in a great football game up at the Twin Cities. Well, great, I guess, if you're a Michigan fan. Minnesota was knocked out. That was the 10th Texas penalty of this game. Mock has Scaife underneath to the 12-yard line, short of the first down.
Mock's pass complete to number 80.
Another penalty flag, I believe, comes down. Late flag on that play, as a matter of fact.
That's the way I thought Texas would start out this game, throwing the ball short. Sideline warning.
You know, the Big 12 conference, and everybody now chasing the Sooners, and you can see what Texas A&M did on the rebound after losing to Texas Tech. And tonight, Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa State, Texas Tech, and with 4:11 to go, look at Kansas out in Boulder. Amazing what Mangino has been able to do with the Jayhawks this year. One of the surprise turnarounds after the season started. Mock with a nice pass underneath. Scaife again for the first down. Well thrown ball that time.
Yeah, that's how I thought they would start. What side's winning, Brent?
Look at the empty seats.
Got a lot of empty fans on this Texas side over here, the OU side, BT side over there. I can tell who's winning, can you?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what Chance Mock told me he was going to try to do. Start dropping the ball down early in the game, force that zone defense for Oklahoma to come up, and then get behind him. The first play, he throws an intercept. Well, actually, the first play was completed. Remember that? They made a missed call, and then from there, it was all downhill.
Deflected high. Intended for Scaife again. And I want to remind you that Germany will take on Sweden in the FIFA Women's World Cup final. That's at 12:30 Eastern tomorrow here on ABC. So the U.S. women, they were upset by that German team, and now the Germans will go for the championship. Four wide for Mott. 2nd down and 10. Picks it up. Incomplete. Throws it away.
Well, we started out this game as a chef trying to cook up a victory recipe, and you see quarterback protection. I mean, obviously that's OU. Run game, except for Vince Young, that's OU. Yards after catch, that's huge. Special teams really didn't make any difference in this football game. Turnovers you could put in there, but that's always a thing. But when you get quarterback protection, allow Jason White to throw the ball, that made a lot of check marks on one side of the field and a lot of points on one side of the scoreboard for Oklahoma. Mac Brown has to figure out, remember, he's got Nebraska coming back into this thing, and that Big 12 championship game, Nebraska-Oklahoma, would be quite a tussle.
Third down, Mock takes out.
The ball just
Coming loose.
Just swinging that ball around.
What is that? 6 turnovers now for the Horns in this game as Corey Klein, the senior from Tulsa, recovers the fumble over there.
Lack of experience from both of the quarterbacks have cost Texas in this game. Bad read to start with by Chance Mock. You see Vincent Young with plenty of ability, making a lot of mistakes as Oklahoma, and boy, Texas starts out looking good, comes into this game with turnovers. On that one, Chance Mock just waving it around like he was playing basketball as he was scrambling out.
First down, can't in fast enough for that man right there. He wants this clock to move double time. There comes Hickson. Got back and surrounded. So remember the singular poll, the comeback player of the year. We ask you all to vote. And Jeff Smoker. And you can make a strong argument for the young man who's come back from trouble off the field for Michigan State. 31%. Jason White. Gary opted for him, 26%. Cedric Cobbs, fine running back for Arkansas. So all those stories are wonderful stories. Lee Evans will be playing tonight.
Yeah, we're real happy for Lee Evans, aren't we? I mean, that's a tough injury. A great football player has come back. He's proven it to the league and the next league that he can play healthy.
2nd and 12. Thompson fires, snared by Peoples, close to the first down, and Jack Paul Thompson throws a nice ball.
Yes, he does, Brent. And according to Chuck Long, he admits that Paul Thompson, even in this mop-up duty, we're getting a look at what he calls the completion of OU's offensive plan. Gary, you know, when you and I talked to Chuck, he said, so far, since in Bob Stoops' reign, the predominant reason for the way they played was to protect their quarterback, protect the health of their quarterback. They said with Paul Thompson, when he finally comes under center as a starter, you'll see the full package.
It was a first down for the Sooners. Ball inside the 15. Hickson muscles his way inside the 10-yard line. You can see why the coaches like him too. So they've got Jones, Works, and Hickson. They didn't have Quentin Griffin today, but they got good production out of the 3. In fact, Oklahoma ran today for 177 yards. And when you look at the individuals, Works, Gary had 112, Jones had 80, and now Hickson cleaning up.
Yeah, Works had that big long run on that little draw play. I chuckle at coaches sometimes. They get a quarterback that can carve you up for 300 yards throwing, and they want a runner. What's wrong with a thrower?
Coaches are never satisfied.
No, they're not. I'd get to put a guy out there in a wheelchair if he could throw it. That's for good.
Inside handoff from the end zone. And, Texas swallows the play. Clock down to 4.5 minutes here. We come to the top of the hour, and the #1 team in the nation, Oklahoma, will stay #1. No question about that. They put up a 58 on arch rival Texas here today. Miami with a big win, an upset in Tallahassee, a very impressive performance in the rain there today. You would expect them to be #2. Now, if you're wondering about the BCS poll, which controls who does go to New Orleans, that won't come out until late October when they put all the computer boys together and the polls and the one-loss record and the quality wins and the strength of schedule and all of that stuff. And Thompson uses a timeout here inside of 4 minutes. So we'll take a break. The issue long ago was decided. Well, for some Texas fans, you can understand that.
Wake me up when it's over?
Yeah. Too messy to watch this baby. But there'll be other Red River shootouts. That's the beauty about sports. They come back the next year and play it again. Third down. Well, it's been a painful 4 years, hasn't it, for Horn fans? Thompson gives to Hickson. He's stopped by the defense around the 6-yard line. Then we want to thank the SIDs from these two schools who helped us a lot. Get ready for this one. John Bianco in Texas, and of course the assistant athletic director, Bill Little, and at Oklahoma, Kenny Mossman. So thanks to that group of fellows, made our life a lot easier here. And now it is 4th down, 3:24 left. Thompson with a pitch to Hickson. And Hickson battling toward the end zone, didn't make it. But he might have gotten the first down. I believe he did get the first down. Let's check in more on Pittsburgh, Notre Dame, and here's John.
Well, it's more of the same. Rod Rutherford to Larry Fitzgerald, although this one shows just how acrobatic he can be as well. Just goes up over the defender and grabs the ball. Pitt now with the lead over the Irish, 14-7.
All right, John.
I think Larry Fitzgerald is the most polished player in college football that I've seen in a long time. His skills are so superior. He gets the most out of his game.
Hickson jammed as he tries to vault into the end zone.
Number 35 stopped at the line of scrimmage.
So they'll get up and sort it out. Oklahoma taking their time.
Pretty amazing, this Oklahoma team. We've been doing them for 3 years straight. They've been right up at the top here. We know almost every guy on their football team. They graduated their top 4 receivers of all time, and they reload with this crew of receivers. Amazing recruiting program at Oklahoma now.
Jones in at running back, and he'll score. And a flag on the hit.
And Aaron Harris is going to get an unsportsmanlike penalty.
He was already in the end zone, and a lot of frustrations on the Harris hit.
Number 2, Aaron Harris, going to come way around the other side. Watch it. Gets shoved to the play, touchdown easily, and then just lays out Juwan Jones at the end of the play after he clearly has scored. About 1.5 yards into the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you, there's one coach over there at Oklahoma we haven't talked about. He's been on both staffs, Texas, Oklahoma. He's got to be real happy there. That's Bobby Jack Wright. He's the recruiting coordinator, and he had that same position down Austin way, and also happens to be his daughter's 18th birthday. So Malia, happy birthday. And what a better present than Daddy's football team winning big. So the most ever by the Sooners. They had put that 63 up the last time they marched to a national championship.
So Bobby's got the 1 and 2 highest. Texas and Mac, unfortunately, have the 1 and 2 worst.
Speaking of that 2000 team, Jack, that was a heck of a run they had.
Yeah, and remember Josh Heupel? Well, he's a graduate assistant back on this team. And while Gary Danielson doesn't want to commit, I asked Josh Heupel before the game to compare and contrast. Was this team better or equal to 2000? He said, without question, it is a better team at this point than we were going into the Red River rivalry. So, Gary, at least we got one guy here that is willing to commit.
Kind of interesting, the 2 graduate assistants for these 2 teams, Major Applewhite and Josh Heupel. Both want to be coaches now. Number 2 and 3 passes of all time in the Big 12 Conference right there. Both breaking down films now and going and getting coffee for the coaches. You got to start out on the bottom with your grad assistant.
Yeah, it doesn't get much worse than this, Gary. OU has outscored Texas now 177 to 54 over the last 4 painful seasons.
This just isn't all coaching. I know they put a good program. This is a special group of players Oklahoma has together right here.
Come out on the 20. Maybe the Irish are fighting back, huh, John Saunders?
Brent, they are indeed. It's actually Julius Jones who gets his 2nd touchdown of the day, matching Larry Fitzgerald. Should have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. He runs out of it, and then look at the breakaway speed to the touchdown, and a tie with Pitt now at 14 apiece. Brent.
All right, John, and here we've got 2:06 to go. And the Horns with Chance Mott still at quarterback. Draw play. Robin to the 25-yard line, and here's our Chevrolet players of the game. Jason White was spectacular. 17-21, 290 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interception. And Tillman Holloway, we're going to give him a lot of credit for hanging tough in there. He had that free fall going against Tommy Harris. And we've got Tommy, the All-American, limited to 1 tackle. So nice going, Tillman Holloway, lineman out of Colorado. And, of course, to Jason White, he'll be moving up the Heisman charts with a performance like this. Man, it was a sweetheart of a day for the comeback kid. Robin to daylight for a first down for the Horns at 1:23. And we thank our executive producer of ABC Sports, Mike Pearl, the senior producer of ABC Sports, Bob Toms, the coordinating producer of ABC's College Football, the producer of today's game, Bob Goodrich, also a daddy because Ashley was in town here today, and I hope she enjoyed her daddy's work, and the director, Steve Bime. Nice to have Steve with us for this one. The TD, Monty Poling, the associate producer, Drew Kaliski, the associate director, Brian Fay, and of course our lead PA, Sun Devil, did an outstanding job along with the doctor of graphics himself. Ian, nice job. Our studio show, what a hit again, huh? That was Russell Dennison, number 36, up with that. Back in New York, the studio show produced by Tim Weinkoff, directed by Calvin Haywood. TD there is Gary Boyarski, and the director of production, Mark Loomis. So thanks to one and all. 65-13. We bring down the curtain. I don't know about you, Mr. Danielson, but I'm ready to run for the airport. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this.
When they took the market to Purdue, I was ready to go a while ago, to tell you the truth. Only one starter on the field for either side, Brandon Everidge, and that's just because they don't have enough players. Oklahoma does. They keep number 7 in there just to keep him on the field, and he's going to make a half a tackle with Dennison on this play again. You know, if you're a backup linebacker for Oklahoma, you're almost a starter.
So there it is. The camera crews across the field are surrounding Stoops as he'll come to the center of the field and shake Mack Brown's hand. And for Mack, it's going to be a painful walk out to the middle of the field, 4 straight years. And Mack with some words for Bobby. Bobby saying, "You dang rascals are just the best team I've seen down here." We go down to Jack.
Well, Coach, this has got to be the best of the 4.
Yeah, it is. We felt coming in, I never said people want to say we had our best team. I said we had our strongest team coming into this game. And we played well tonight. Really, the execution, both sides of the ball was really outstanding. Our players deserve the credit.
Let's talk for a moment, though, about the job that Jason White did, because this kid's incredible to come back after 2 knee operations.
Well, hopefully now everyone realizes it. The guy's a great player. He's got a great head on his shoulders, got a great arm. You know, you couldn't ask for more. Jason White was just superb again today.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Jack. And ABC Sports Online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. And a reminder, don't forget, the Falcons battle the Rams on Monday Night Football live at 9 Eastern. For Jack Arute and Gary Danielson, I'm Brent Musburger. So long, everybody. It was a record-breaking day for the Sooners from Oklahoma.